Still not used to this freaking light. I cannot wait till my replacement comes. Anytime I glance at my Discord, at my like top monitor where I keep Discord, just yeah, not great, not great. Kaiser, trust me, I know. Actually, I kind of meant to pop it out. Let me just look at something really quickly before we get going. I just want to look at something because I've got, it looks different on different monitors. Interesting. All right. It doesn't look half bad on like the phone. It's just a little, it's a little much. On my, on my OBS panel, I look blown out. But yeah. The Monty Kowalski. Shoulder's a little tweaked today. Good morning, Viva. And hey there, Caboose. And hey there, Amorous. Yeah, Viva and Amorous and Carino were there. Viva was there. Viva was there a bit ago. Let's just put it that way. Oh, man. I was out for a walk, and I came back at like 1 minute to go. Thank you, Viva. But bump. Oh, vey. So yeah, I tweaked. I forget what we decided that the muscle was. But Ian, my I'm just calling him Coach now. But my trainer, Ian, we were trying to figure out which one this one was. Somehow the harsher lighting makes this look like video. Oh, well, I mean, it's a full-on key light. Like, rather than dialing it back and warming the temperature like I normally do, this is what a key light normally does. Normally there'd be two hitting me from both sides. And they are harsh lights. You usually fix all that in post. But yeah. Yeah, tweaked the shoulder. Something like anterior delt, maybe. But yeah, we did the workout anyway. Just ran ahead with it. But I pushed the Thursday workout to Friday to try and give the shoulder a little recovery. And I'm going to go easy on it for a couple of days just to ease off it so it doesn't get worse. Oh, how did everybody's day go? What's everybody up to? Let's see. Let me get some stuff going. Oh, okay, Estrella. That's a thing that you're doing now. Got it. I didn't get much sleep because I was up until 5, but otherwise fine. Hey, it's your own fault. It's your own fucking fault. And I had the same sleep pattern as well. I was probably up a lot later than you, to be perfectly honest. I've had to use Facebook again. I see. But yeah, I had to get up and eat and go work out like right out of the gate. So I got an invitation on Twitch to join someone's channel team that I've never spoken to before. But honestly, I kind of want to show you guys this. This is fucking hilarious. There you go. So the person who owns the channel, we'll talk further about that, Viva. The person who owns the channel, or owns the team that, hey, Mr. Sir, invited me to join their group is somebody by the name of Matthew VFE. Here's Matthew VFE. Hi, hey, I'm Matthew VFE, self-proclaimed god of any game I touch. If you want some epic moments from a variety of games as well as a relaxing atmosphere, then you came to the right place, starting off by doing exclamation special in chat. All right, so
welcome. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Matthew BFE Twitch channel. Basically, what we do on this channel is a bunch of variety content. We tend to stick to more to Minecraft, though, is what we generally play.
it's
However,
because
we
he
do
is
go
12
into
Kaiser.
other categories. It really depends on how I'm feeling at the day and what is recommended or suggested by the chat. So anyways, if that sounds like it suits you, then hit that follow button over there, and I hope to see you
He's
in
British,
one of my live
Caboose.
streams. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.
He's British. That just sort of comes with the territory. They're kind of a pale people. That is not an excuse. Yeah, so Matthew VFE sends me an invite. You should join his team. Yeah, to join his Twitch team. Out of nowhere. I got it a few minutes ago, 10 minutes ago. I get the email notification for this. I don't know if I've ever even encountered this person in chat before. I don't know if I've ever met them, like, virtually or anything. Caboose, I sincerely, I don't think I've had any interaction with this person whatsoever. And it's a night show. If you want to jump on there, let me know. I'm just gonna dump into on air, and you're more than welcome to stop by. Whoever wants to, if not. Has this kid paid for a bot to send these out? He's probably just shooting off into the dark then. Maybe he's just networking. I don't know. I've had no communication with this kid whatsoever. But he sends, like, I got the invited, Matthew VFE's group invited you to join their team. Go to your account settings and then go to the channel, like, featured content section. And down there under invitations, his team is called Excellent Era. Excellent-ERA. It's all I got. Like, I don't know any more about this kid. I don't know any more about his channel other than he seems to be a Minecraft streamer.
You should email him back and say, I wasn't born in this era.
Estrella. Maybe he has an alt that he uses to chat. He could be any of us. Well, maybe not paid, but there's definitely some bottery going on. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. Well, you know for a fact that he's God. Yeah, good use of the capitalization there, Rex. And hey there, Rex. So yeah, I right before I basically started streaming, that notification came in. I was like, who have I ever even interacted with you? Premarital. He could even be gets brains blown out. Oh, post scarcity. I'm sorry you just lost your innocence. That's a shame.
I feel like I want to play the sound, but only for like 3 seconds.
Oh, Estrella's already got the coping song playing. Yeah, Estrella was, I mean, just right there.
Well, that's an early break.
Yeah, Estrella had that one locked and loaded. I don't mind, I'll talk over it. Post-scarcity. If you couldn't tell by our reactions and the fact that we have a song featuring him that was made by one of the community members called Tanky's Coping, yes, we're familiar with Haz, aka Infrared. He maintains that Infrared is a group of 9 individuals. I still don't really buy it, but, or maybe that's just his handlers over at the FBI. Yes, we're very familiar. Caboose, no, you don't. You really don't. I'm telling you, save yourself. Don't do it.
So, Caboose, how do I put this? Picture a 14-year-old on Xbox. Sorry, no. Let's go to 13-year-old, but his balls have not even started to remotely come into place yet. It's trying to debate you on politics over Xbox. So this person actually is like a 20-year-old, and so, or even more than that, is supposed to be like educated.
Caboose, you remember the Xbox like Call of Duty lobbies and stuff like that? Like Xbox Live lobbies and stuff? It's that kind of rhetoric. It's that temperament.
Out. He screams.
Oh, Post Scarcity was right there with me. Infrared reminded me of my time on Xbox Live COD. Yeah. Yeah, it's that level of temperament. As a Stalinist, he's a Stalinist, by the way. He's not even an ML. He's a Stalinist. He unironically thinks Stalin did amazing things, and he's a Lysenko apologist. So he thinks you can train plants to be communists, so they won't compete over resources. He's not bright. But what he does have going for him is guerrilla energy. What he will do is yell into the microphone from across the room sometimes, because that's how insane he is. He will yell into the microphone, "Cope, cope, 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 cope," for hours on end. That clip out of the song came from one section of him yelling "cope" for 45 minutes straight. This is not hyperbole. This is not exaggeration. I am not the only person to have witnessed this. He yelled "cope" for 45 fucking minutes. And if you eventually get tired of this insanity and disconnect him or remove yourself, he will then declare victory. And he has defeated you in epic combat and proved you to be a rad lib CIA agent anarchitty. Super great for leftist rhetoric online. Yeah.
I'm sorry, the only anarchitty is in my lap right now, and her name is Azra. No, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of anarchitties out there.
So like that gamer that Thor complained about in Avengers Endgame. I don't know. I didn't watch Avengers Endgame, but I've heard about the gamer reference, and apparently he's actually in universe. That gamer is trackable. You know who he is. I'm unfamiliar with the lore, but apparently it is known within the like Marvel universe who that gamer is within the movie, the cinematic universe. Like he's been on screen before. So, just FYI. Yeah, I guess. Like, that's the limit of my knowledge. The Marvel cinematic stuff is not mine.
So wait, he was actually in the movies? Or that's what he's stealing the name from?
No. Like, the dude who Thor is yelling about in the movies, about, like, some dude, like, when he got fat and he's gaming and somebody's, like, a punk who keeps, like, killing him in-game. The dude who is on the other side of that gamer tag is actually in the movies as well. He's, like, a Best Buy employee or something. Like, it's a throwaway character, but he is known within the cinematic universe.
Amazing.
Yeah, he's actually woven in somewhere. Yeah, technically that punk gamer that pwned Thor is an MCU character. No, he legitimately is. Like, it's very weird. I saw somebody did a video, and they mentioned, like, part of the video, they covered that. It was one of my movie guys, and I was like, all right, I'm not an MCU guy, but that's fun. I like that kind of world building and lore weaving. That's, I can get behind that, but yeah. Premarital. Rev. Yes, I've just arrived, but from context clues, I believe I've heard of this person. The 9 members of Infrared, him, his mom, the girl he thought he was dating but just wanted a free smoothie, his favorite mod, the person he paid to draw an emote once, his alt account, one of his high school classmates, Amaranth, and his landlady. Solid work, premarital. Solid work. And I got a feeling that Infrared has some underlying mental health conditions. Look, I'm not going to speculate on air. I'm not going to speculate as to any potential conditions that anybody may have. You cannot diagnose at a distance. You would definitely need a review. But fun fact about Haz, he doesn't believe in Western medicine such as psychiatry and psychology or mood stabilization drugs. You see, that's all a CIA plot. So he won't be getting that kind of help anytime soon. Stark Raving, not directly, but they're comfortable with one another. Let's just put it that way. That alone sounds like a healthy mind. Doesn't it, though? Wouldn't you love to know this person in real life? Jesus Christ. Emotional maturity is CIA psyops. Yeah. So, yes, we're familiar with infrared around these parts. Well, I was there live when he got his first fucking suspension for making, we don't know what exactly got him it, whether it was threatening violence towards liberals because that's all the only language they speak, whether it was the sexual innuendo and veiled references to sexually assaulting female commentators and streamers that were on the line with him, or whether it was just the general genocide apologia that he was doing at the time, in addition to the blatant homophobia, homophobia, transphobia, general paternalistic, hierarchical bullshit that those types get up to. Yeah. So I found his YouTube, click random video, first 5 seconds, he's angrily yelling what and calling a guy a bitch and a cocksucker. You guys weren't fucking kidding. Caboose, no, we're not. There's no hyperbole going on here. Haz is fucking batshit crazy. Now, that's not a technical diagnosis. I don't know if he has a mental disorder or whether he's just an angry individual who's been alienated by capitalism. I have no idea, but what I do know is I know crazy when I see it. That shit be crazy. I mean, please tell me Infrared runs his own tabletop RPG campaign. Now that is something I would find fascinating. I would not want to play as a player at his table, but I would love to see a video of him running a campaign. That would be hilarious. Nonsense. That's not true. You're just making this stuff up. There's video evidence of all of it. There's video evidence of all of it. And many people have seen it. From not just my channel, many channels. And he's got a YouTube archive of this crazy shit. So, yeah. And he's caught multiple suspensions for it, up to and including 30-day suspensions. He's probably about that far from getting his Twitch account banned at this point. Rev, I fucking wish we weren't making it up. No, this is... if anything, I'm probably softening it. I want the Cope episode. I never saw it. Haz, aka Infrared, Jay, somebody came in and asked about him, and we've had interactions. He's come into the channel a couple of times. Only because one time one of my people was fucking with him on his channel. I'm like, look, I'm an anarchist. I'm not going to tell people what to do and not to do. Like, it's your channel. Moderate it. And then the second time, apparently his people were telling him that he needs to debate Lord Me or whatever the fuck they do over there. And he came by and I was like, yeah, no. By that point, I had figured out exactly how crazy toxic his community is. And I very slowly smiled, nodded, and backed the fuck out of the room before that shit went down. Yeah. We've had people on that Discord server. We know what goes on there. We've seen it. It's bad.
So I've avoided this rabbit hole that's going on here because this subject is absolutely a shit show that every time I even dip my toe into it, it's like I could not. But I decided to go down to the MCU rabbit hole because I'm a fucking nerd. Now I'm disappointed. It's an Xbox ad for the Game Pass.
Is it really?
Yes,
I respect it. Getting their hustle on.
it's Falcon in an EV Games or a GameStop, whatever, and it's just an employee with an Xbox shirt on, just showing him like different games. Falcon's playing like
And
some
the
Halo
guy,
5 or whatever.
that same guy has been in other ad campaigns as well, from what I remember from some of the details. He's actually helped like shill for other tech companies and stuff.
Oh, the nerdy guy who's like showing him how the video goes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, like he's
Yes,
done that.
so
You would
te-
actually hire someone like that for your public shows, trying to like get investors.
Yeah, and so
All the
technically the MCU has links to like other commercials outside of their universe as a result of his participation. It's one of those weird like rabbit holes you can go down even further.
It's just like, hey, new Master 69, why were you just introducing Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine? Because I remember seeing this guy being one of the people who's given the Xbox intro for it. And if you don't know what the commercials for that was, gore, explosions, chainsaws through orcs, gore. It was excessive.
Jace, I'm not one of those people. So yeah, I don't get joy from cringe. Like stuff that literally makes me cringe in real life, I turn off. I can't watch it. That's not my idea of entertainment. It bothers me. And so yeah. He's an interesting fellow. Let's just put it that way. Fucking premarital. Oh my god, premarital. Fucking sorry, English is my second language. Wasn't familiar with the word Oroveni. And fucking premarital. Yeah, PhD in English literature. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Like the economic unit of debates are gotcha moments now. Dude, commodifying discourse leading to debate bros is insane. I agree with that. Oh, hey there, Joe. Has severe anger issues that he tries to leverage. I mean, I don't disagree with that in the least. Like he is a type of dude who needs to smoke 3 joints before he goes on the air. Like just smoke 3 joints, go for like a 10-mile run, smoke 3 joints and rub one out. And then go on stream. Maybe, just maybe you can moderate some of that anger. I'm mad AOC played Among Us without me, says Wilhelm. Oh, I'm sorry, Wilhelm. Apparently the Kool-Aid Man is Marvel canon. That's interesting. The Vosh versus Infrared was really cringe. Yeah, I don't watch that kind of stuff. Hey, Sunshine. Yeah, I don't watch that stuff. Rex, dude, like 20 years ago, one of my old roommates talked me into going to a monkey sugar website. Gross, not enough brain bleach in the world to this day. Fair enough. Watch leftist atheists debating 3 conservative atheists twice despite all the cringe. Rev, you're a fucking masochist. I don't need to pull out the PH tatas to dunk on people for their English premarital. Smoke 2 joints in the morning, smoke 2 joints at night. It's been a while since I've heard that song. Sublime. They were good. Yeah, they were good. Yeah, because those joints might actually make him more nuts at first. Yeah. Oh, well, then I'll let chat handle that. Caboose. Enjoy. So I suppose what I should do is actually reach out to this kid and be like, hey, just FYI. Just curious why you sent this to me. So let's see, what's he play? All right, well, at least he's not terrible. on his About page, he's got links to the Trevor Project. For those of you who don't know, the Trevor Project is the world's largest suicide prevention for LGBTQ at-risk youth, that sort of thing.
Oh, good.
Yeah, under 25. So if you're over 25 and you're going to commit suicide and you're gay, the Trevor Project doesn't care if you die or not. Just saying. It literally is saving young LGBTQ lives. Like it's not their thing. It's not their thing. But yeah, at least
Fair, like the children are the ones who are at the most risk of getting that beaten out of them, quote unquote.
So all right, he's I mean, all right. Oh wait, what am I getting mentioned at? Oh, and Joe, no, it was me. The blender, dude, and that's to call a Vitamix a blender is like calling a Ferrari a car, right? Like, sure, it's a car, right? But like, you're like, oh yeah, the car's in the driveway, and you walk out and there's a fucking Ferrari, right? It's like car sort of undersold where I was headed. But yeah, it was me. My blender's base cracked. Like I had replaced the blade and the assemblage, the gear assemblage a couple of times, and then the bottom cracked entirely. And so, this one's not gonna crack. And if it does, they'll replace the whole goddamn thing and pay for shipping both directions for 10 years. So, yes. And it was made in the US, by the way. It's not easy to find stuff like that that's actually made here. Hey, Big Head. It reminded my mom buying a Thermomix. I was expecting some, I don't, yeah. Actually, older men are more likely to die by suicide. Yeah, it is true. It's true. Will it blend 50 BMG though? Dude, it'll blend a fucking human being. I'm telling you. Like, Vitamixes are intense. Yeah, my go-to description is you could toss a baby in there and get liquid. Like, it's ridiculous. Those things are crazy powerful. You could actually will, yeah. So yeah, I need.
What the fuck? I'm reading the list of images that Monkey Sugar just throws at you.
Yeah. All right, so who's on this list? Holy shit. Yeah, he is. I mean, there's only two people, three maybe, in this community that are even in the same. Like, I'm not even that big, and like these are. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna send this kid a message and be like, why? Like, what's the deal with this kid?
Was the email personalized?
No, because when you do the invitation system on Twitch, it's part of the invitation system to kick you the email.
Oh, so it couldn't be personalized even if you wanted to.
Correct. Yeah, there's no way for him to get that email address. That one's the account.
No, but I mean, like, couldn't he write like a specific message
No.
to go with?
No.
No?
Yeah. Welcome to Twitch's fully fleshed out team and community mechanics.
Nothing like, hey, I really appreciate what you do. Like, I understand you're an anarchist, and
Nope.
I actually advocate for these things. I'm very young, but if someone educated like you just played games with me, I'd hope I could teach a lot of young people things under the radar. Like, if the kid said that, I'd be like, holy fuck, maybe, but
Right,
no.
like based, but yeah, like nothing. I got nothing with it. It's just the way it works. I've never, as far as I know, I've never interacted with this. I mean, we say kid, he could easily be 18 and we wouldn't know. Like, I mean, it happens. Look at me, I look 20 something, 26, 28, I don't fucking know, and I've got a decade on that. So when you're especially that young, if you are prone to looking young, he could be 18 and we're like, yeah, this kid's 12. But I mean, what I looked like when I was 18, yeah, I looked fucking 12. So who knows how old he actually is. But
He's got
either,
a better jawline than someone like 12 would have. So I was going up in like mid-teen.
yeah, I don't know. Either way, he's a Minecraft streamer. He is a very apparently relatively young, and I'm just gonna have to send him a message behind the scenes and be like, dude, why? What's up? Hey, I looked 18 when I was 12, says Viva. Yeah, it's a German thing. Hey, Pops. And hey there, Tiffany. And my old roommate thought it was funny as well as mind-blowing to see such... Oh, okay, yeah. I successfully avoided watching Faces of Death. I'm not looking at this, says Rev. Offered a 1v1 his dad. I have seen Faces of Death. Yeah, it was a rite of passage for anybody who was, you know, a youth in the 90s. Like that was... It was a rite of passage. You basically had to do it. You were going to end up hanging out with your buddies one way or the other, and you were going to watch that tape. It was inevitable. No, I'm not German in that regard. Nice, Viva. I'm sure Chad is waiting with bated breath on this one. I watch cartel executions with chainsaws. Hope that's not TOS. I mean, talking about it, Wilhelm, isn't TOS. That there are videos of cartel executions using chainsaws as implement, and the fact that people have watched them, including apparently yourself, is not against TOS by all means.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Oh yeah, I was a youth in the 90s. I just didn't have any friends. Oh, Rev. It took me a while. I moved around a lot. I actually got to do high school stationary, but prior to high school, I was bouncing around so often that it was exceedingly difficult for me to keep friends. Especially when you're going from like coast to coast and, you know, like north to south, east to west sort of stuff. It's really difficult. But yeah, yeah. Once I got to high school and we stopped bouncing around so much for a moment, I managed to get a crew going. Rev, I'm kidding because I heard inside. No, I'm mostly kidding. Well, good. I'm glad you're kidding on that one, Rex. Oh yeah, I remember Faces of Death, kind of obligatory to see, like Blair Witch Project back in the day. Yuck, I haven't seen any chainsaw executions, but the sound of it reminds me of an impalement execution video I saw once. Ouch. Lovely. My best friend was Charlotte, but she hit the 3-wheel motion into heaven. Oh. Okay. Dude, Pops, that's a weird turn of phrase for most people under a certain age. Just know that. Like, wait. Yeah. And is this all? Okay, and then clear this one, and I should be good up there. Cool. Yeah, everybody was like, you know what, we'll see. So a chainsaw execution, it's an incredibly stupid and inefficient way to kill somebody. That's not really the point, Caboose.
The point is actually for the video, not even for the killing.
Yeah, it's not really the efficiency they're after.
It is the shock factor.
That and it sends a message.
Yep. Oh, the shock factor for whoever is receiving that video. The internet got it in between that, but that was sent for someone.
If you get staticky, Joe, I'm probably gonna have to, you know, mute you or something. Just FYI.
Yeah.
And Guillotine for the win. Content. Pretty sure it's the point. The point is terrorism, and Duffy, of course, right there with me. It's sending a message. Do I have?
I've seen the explosion court decapitations.
Is that when they make them run away, and if they run far enough, it pulls a pin on a grenade on
No,
their
it
back
was
or
an
something?
ISIS thing. They just put like several people next to each other in a row and then just took, you know, the igniter cord for explosions? It's
Det
explosive cord.
det cord is what
It's
we
actually
call
not the
it.
igniter. It's not the igniter cord. It's literally explosive
Yeah,
cord.
we
and they
call
just
we
wrapped
call
it
that
around
det
their
cord.
heads. Yeah,
In-
det cord exactly.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that's fucked up. That video was fucked.
Wow, kids' internet should definitely be monitored, says Estrella. I mean, it's like guns. Teach them how to use it responsibly at a young age, and you won't have to watch them when they're older. It's basically how I feel about it. Otherwise, if you're going to be all puritanical about it and not let them anywhere near the internet and then let them loose when they're like 17, 18, or 20 or something, yeah, expect some very poor reactions. Oh, gross. I'm slightly baked in this conversation. Oh, yes. They can, Rex. Yes. Yeah, that's going to turn out fine. I was 13. Yeah. You know. Just look at YouTube. Goes from funny train song on the to this is the tank. It destroys our enemy. Fair enough. Big-headed Sam. Yeah, I do actually. Look, here's the full shtick. If you have a magic wand that you can disappear all of the guns in the world, along with all of the knowledge of how to build guns and all of the gunsmiths that go along with that knowledge, then feel free to wave that magic wand. But if you're an adult and you accept the fact that America has a cultural attachment to firearms that will not be ended anytime soon, then it would probably be best if we trained our children from a younger age on how to respect and protect themselves and others from these devices, akin to something like vehicles. A little bit of training goes a long ways, and the younger you do it, we've talked about this at length. We have a bunch of gun people. I've done firearms training, and I don't mean that I've trained in firearms. I mean I've trained others in firearms. My family is one of those families. I think age 8 is right about the correct age to start giving firearms lessons to kids. Some people from the older school, like my stepdad's age range, baby boomer, he used to carry a .22 rifle with him to elementary school. I'm not fucking around here. That was a thing that happened. All right, so, you know, but again, it would be best if we taught a little bit of respect and safety protocols with these devices fairly early on, so we don't have a whole bunch of idiots in our culture that have no trigger discipline and no muzzle awareness. That'd be great. Just me. I shot my first gun when I was 11, said Caboose. Worked on a project with guns, and there were two types of people, said Estrella: those who grew up around guns and got gun safety knowledge from a young age, and those who have never been around guns and think it's a shiny, cool toy. Yep. Given a chance to return them, outlaw open. Oh, big-headed Sam. We've done gun buybacks in this country. It has never worked. It doesn't work. You know what happens? The illegal guns get turned in so the criminals can wash the guns and get cash out of them. I'm not kidding you. That has happened many a times. Americans don't turn in their firearms for any amount of cash, really. We've done gun buybacks in this country. They don't fucking work. They don't fucking work. Anybody who's ever been involved in the firearms industry in this country is well aware of how much of a failure gun buyback programs are in America. Outlaw open carry. Sure, good luck with that one. And after 2 years, send a monthly fine. You'll have much less guns in 5 years. Are you American? Is my only question.
Mm-hmm.
Because that sounds like the opinion of somebody who did not grow up in this country. Nope. There you go.
I had to come around on this whole fucking topic as well. It's really hard to sell that to people It's extremely hard to sell that to people here in Europe or any lefty here. It's mind-boggling. The conversation will immediately be over because they will just think you're stupid.
Yeah, you do not comprehend the American culture. That's it. Like you don't have firsthand experience with it. You don't understand how deeply ingrained. Tell you what. Let's flip this on its head. Tell you what. I want to get pasta out of Italy. So let's offer buybacks on their pasta. And, issue fines. And maybe in 5 years, we'll get Italians to not have pasta. Now, this seems like an insane metaphor and a crazy analogy that I'm using. But honestly...
I mean, if you let us Germans regulate that, might work, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're going to have to be authoritarian about it. And I will tell you right now, if you send the sheriff to Billy Bob's house to collect his firearms, the sheriff is going to get shot at. It's that simple.
Then again, the more authoritarian lefties here in Germany would say, well, too fucking bad, well then we have to take him from him with violence.
And there's no...
That would be a shit show of unimaginable...
America's firearm owners comprise what is essentially the largest standing army in the world. Okay, we have more firearms in private hands than we have people.
Means you have more guns than most armies in private hands.
We can go to... Where are you from? We can take your military. Privately. For real. The American private firearms owners could overwhelm your military.
Can there actually be a few tanks in the mix as well?
Uh-huh.
I think that's just guns.
We have automatic weapons, we have artillery,
Mortars.
we have mortars, we have tanks. This is not hyperbole. No, the average gun owner doesn't have this, but the people who really do get into collecting do. And the average NRA lifetime member has 28 or more firearms.
Don't want to know what some of those crazies have done with drones by now.
So the fact of the matter is that the average NRA lifetime member, of which there are many, can arm an entire neighborhood. This is not something that people who aren't American can even begin to comprehend. This is why I said if you have a magic wand, feel free to wave it. But until you have a magic wand, things such as buybacks don't work in America. Things such as fines don't work in America. Threatening to take the guns is probably the stupidest thing you could do in this country. And if you just outlawed them outright and said, well, in a few years by attrition we'll get them, apparently you're not familiar with the gun owner's meme of, oops, I dropped my gun while I was out at the lake today. It's a very real thing. They're not giving them up.
I used to facilitate the Australia argument that, hey, but look at Australia, they had a fuck ton of guns too, and there it works. I used to say that a lot. Yeah. I don't really believe in it anymore, to be honest.
It's a cultural difference.
Not nearly have as much and not nearly held close to it.
Yep.
It wasn't in their constitution.
We protected firearm ownership at a constitutional level in this country. And the fact of the matter is you can make the argument that anti-gun people make, but it's not a successful argument. And to be perfectly honest, a lot of that is kind of malicious wording. But the truth of the matter is they are a cultural staple in America. And it's like suggesting to take beer away from Belgians or Germans, right? Like this is
yeah, exactly. The best comparison.
You're not doing it.
Taking the beer away. And it was tried, and people immediately rebelled, and yeah, we got our beer back.
You're talking a multi-generational project at best. This is not something you can accomplish in 5 years. This is something that you accomplish in 5 generations, maybe. Non-Americans they seem to never understand. Canadians get it. Joe gets it just because he's sort of a gun guy, military hardware guy, and has been to America.
And I'm just interested in the industry and the politics behind it and everything.
Yeah,
It didn't come to the gun appreciation didn't come with like I want to shoot people.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
But I mean, anybody who studies this, anybody who gets integrated into the American gun milieu, as it were, quickly comes to understand this. You're not getting rid of them. You're not. It's a fool's errand. You're looking at generations of work.
It really is a cultural thing because we never really got rid of guns per se. Like, okay, it was looser here, way looser, but for a long time, we're just used to having it regulated. We're just used to not everybody being armed. That was never like a super big thing. So, yeah, I could go shooting right now. It's expensive, but
it's not cheap here either. But I mean, it just depends. Banning pasta is the most based in futurist pilled policy, said Kaiser. I enjoy guns at the range. Target shooting is a fun skills challenge, but besides the skills challenge, there's a rush of empowerment too. That Rex, non-gun people who have never shot before, you put them on a fucking range, you put a gun in their hand, and you watch their face as they pull the trigger the first few times. They get it very quickly. They get it very quickly. There is a sense of empowerment, the likes of which very few people experience in their lives. That thing in your hands is super powerful. And it's rare. Yeah, it's rare that people experience that in this sort of singular moment.
it is super fucking primal. It is super primal.
Perhaps for some of these, the high of the drug is the empowerment people get from guns. Perhaps for some of these misguided people, the problem is that their own tangible connection and empowerment. Maybe if they had more empowerment in their lives, they'd be less gun crazy. Rex,
Yep.
part of it.
Maybe.
Part of it, yeah. There's a percentage of that I'd say you could influence in that manner, for sure. A lot of them, though, it's not that, right? My stepdad was given that .22 rifle by his dad, right? They went hunting together. They went target practicing together, right?
Growing up with religion.
It is. It's the same thing. You're trying to take something that has been a staple in their life, that is a cultural touchstone, that is a memory, that is attached to other memories. And
out life.
Yes, the nostalgia element. You can't undo that. There's no way you're going to convince that generation that I'm sorry, you're just not. It's not how that ever works.
It's a huge problem with communication in general, because you're talking about, hey, I want less shootings, and you say I want. That's why I want to. I want to regulate it. But people like that here is they want to take my guns away, and you're not attacking the guns or the murders per se in their head. You're attacking the memories they had with their father. Blah blah blah. Whatever. I know it sucks, but from a psychological standpoint, it's just.
It's not that I dismissed you because you're not American, big-headed, Sam. It's because I'm dismissing you because clearly you haven't experienced this side of American culture. And
don't get us wrong. We hate these shootings and we want to see less of them.
But
or none.
But I'm a realist.
Yeah.
This is like living in Syria and saying that we should ban bombings and shootings. It's like, okay, that's great and all, but
we have a drought. We don't have enough food.
It's not really the situation right now. Which is again back to my magic wand comment. It's just one of those things. It's an insurmountable task when it comes to certain things. Let's see. Even trying to make owning a gun uncomfortable is unrealistic. Yeah. Australians hunt cats. Culture. I think culture can be influenced, but okay. I saw that earlier. Like I said, it's a multi-generational project.
I mean, try telling the Swiss that they should change their shit. I mean, they did a little
Cab-
bit, but
Caboose, 5 generations is being generous. Yeah, Caboose is up in that like northern, northeastern sort of California rural sticks territory. Bumfuck nowhere, basically. There's a lot of rednecks outside of the deep south in the U.S., and Caboose gets to experience them as well.
I think in Switzerland it's quite easy actually to own an automatic rifle if you can already own a semi-auto rifle, rifle.
Yeah, I'm with Caboose as well. Yeah, then there's the frustration once you can't hit the target with a pistol, says Duffy. I was always rifle. If Karina ever comes down to the U.S., I'm taking her shooting. Oh, fuck yeah, Caboose. That's definitely a thing. I've promised a few of the out of towners that if they ever, especially Joe. Joe was the first one to basically straight up tell me, like, if I come to Vegas, you're taking me shooting, right?
I'm actually more interested in these crazy communities and all the art stuff that's in the desert.
But yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. And most of us, 99% of gun owners don't get into trouble with their guns. Sincerely. The vast overwhelming majority of people do not commit vehicular homicide with their cars, right? The vast overwhelming majority of gun owners in this country do not actually fuck around and get in trouble with their firearms. But human nature is human nature, right? Not gonna, let's see. Yeah, Estrella, the hogs and rural community shit. God, we've got so much. Yeah, but Viva, I mean, here's the thing with the suicide conversation in firearms. I don't care. You should have access to mental health care. You should have social programs that help you in that time of need so you can seek someone out. But if you so choose to end your life, whether you toss yourself from a bridge or shoot yourself in the head or pop a bunch of fucking pills, at the end of the day, I can't and won't stop you from doing that.
So rather focus on getting proper health, mental health care services and stuff.
Yeah.
Because the guns are not really going anywhere.
Yeah. It's a non-issue for Americans. It's a non-issue. We know it's not budging. We know it's not moving. You've seen it not move. We are perfectly willing to let a child walk into an elementary school and shoot a bunch of their peers and move on with our lives. We'll feign outrage. We'll talk, thoughts
So
and
many
prayers
times now,
for a little
so
bit.
fucking-
But those guns aren't going anywhere. And anybody who thinks like a buyback is going to change, like anything, like it's part of this culture. It's a part of this country. And you just have to be a realist when you deal with these topics. It's brutal. It's rough. Don't get me wrong. Nobody takes any great pleasure in it. But I know the gun culture more than most leftists. I grew up in this shit, right? Like I've done my credentials on air before. Trust me, I know these people. You're not getting rid of them. It's just not happening. Let's see. What do we got going on here? Hello, Tiffany, but no. You seem a little, I don't know, riled up or ornery in chat. Like, did you? Oh, that's a regional thing. I can't ask anybody. I don't have other Americans on the line right now. Whether you say ornery or ornery. So let's see. Chris Rock's suggestion. Oh, the ammo thing. You'd be surprised. 50 caliber rifle rounds, I think, are up to something like $350 a pop now, $375 a pop. Trust me, people still buy them.
Yeah.
Duffy, I've only been shooting once. Oh, yeah.
Honestly, if I've been living in the United States, I just deal in ammo.
It's not a terrible gig, and if you do reloads, you can make a decent living.
But that's fun. Yeah, reloads. It's not hard.
Yeah, one of my stepfather's buddies in Arizona, he had an entire like workshop dedicated to reloading.
I could make a sustainable bullet shop.
Yeah, you really can. I mean, it's actually environmentally friendly too.
Yeah, and I tried to phase out all the lead. I tried to convince everybody to not use lead bullets.
Yeah, that's fair enough,
Yeah,
Viva.
they put it in the gasoline.
Sorry, Karina?
Okay. I just said instead they put the lead in the gasoline.
Yeah, well, that's how we got baby boomers. I sincerely actually am convinced of that a significant portion of the behavior
amount of lead
patterns,
poisoning.
yeah, of the baby boomer generation is because of lead poisoning. Yeah.
Old pipes and fuel and
Yeah, Rex, fucking Jeremy, for sure. Pearl Jam made a popular song about school shootings like 30 years ago, 2010. Yeah, basically 30 years ago for all intents and purposes, 25, 26 years ago. Do they still happen? Oh yeah. Like this is not. Trust me. Greater people than us have tried to tackle this problem. It's not budging. Persnickety is overly concerned with inconsequential details, says me. But Tiffany, but I'm still hesitant. Yeah, but have you had any alcohol or non-tobacco smokable products is the issue. Unfortunately, that was the problem. No, I just meant Twitch chat. Twitch chatters aren't superior to on-air folks. Oh, it says, all right, it says Australia. All right, cool.
shall I count how many school shootings there have been since 2000?
In
One
Germany?
death and up.
I was gonna say
No,
in Germany.
In the United States.
Oh yeah, that's we'll be here all night.
One death and up would be a little bit ambitious. I'm starting to think the list is long.
It's been a few.
Very fucking long.
Yeah. So let's see.
Big country.
Were there any headlines that I wanted to hit? Oh yeah. This one came in last night, early AM. No, this afternoon. The U.S. has suspended all oil and gas leases in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. The Department of the Interior sent out the announcement that they would be notifying all of the lessees that their oil and gas leases are officially pending review, and they will determine whether they will be either reaffirmed, voided, or subject to additional mitigation measures. So clean it the fuck up and get out. We'll see how many get reaffirmed though, but that happened earlier today, and that is a great thing.
I will warn though, Tiffany. I'm not sure if Kai's boyfriend is going to be up for you alleviating all types of concern. I'm just not sure what the XXXXXXX is going on there. You've been a little flirty.
Aww. Alright, I'm stopping the count. I'm at 33 and I'm barely into the list.
DMs, Karina.
Tiffany Star. Oh. Welcome, Tiffany.
Oh, yes, pardon me. Sorry, Tiffany. It completely lapsed my mind that you had actually been on here before.
So when does this vaccine start kicking my ass? Duffy, the first one wasn't terrible for me. My
on
neuropathy
this-
reacted poorly to it, but that's my own particular bullshit. Other than that, the arm was a little sore the next day. But yeah, I have my second one tomorrow, and who the fuck knows how that turns out.
I'm on my. I got my first one yesterday. I'm completely fine. I barely felt like the injection site. I felt it like 7 hours after the injection, but maybe I'm a little bit groggy. But other than that, fine. Might also be the devil's lettuce. I've been.
The devil's lettuce, and again, Karina DMs. China can flood the airs with their, but USA never. Okay, I don't know what that means. Hey, J Miles. I have a hypothetical question. If there was a hypothetical way to have an implant that is completely harmless and does nothing except detect when somebody is about to commit murder, and is able to temporarily paralyze their body until they get detained in treatment, would you say that this would be an okay scenario? I think it would be pretty good. Nope. I'm out. I'm out.
I have a hypothetical.
I know you set up as almost pure and like benevolent of an intentioned hypothetical questions you probably could in that scenario. But here's the thing. Occasionally,
I don't like that mechanic either.
how do I put this? Human history is wrought with individuals that had some other individual not stepped in and removed them from the situation, could continue to cause great harm to degrees that can sometimes end in tens of millions of people dead. There are instances that I can perceive in which there are people who would cross that line, but do so for good reasons. And I would not hamstring humanity that way. Also, I'm an anarchist. You just removed a level of autonomy that I'm not comfortable with removing.
Yeah, and I can also see how that shit could be abused and just in situations in where that would just go wrong and not have the outcome that was intended by implementing it.
And Duffy, of course,
And it
asking
sounds-
how does it perceive murder versus justifiable homicide and those sorts of things. Could someone trick it? There's just
Yeah, what if it happens on the
No.
proverbial train tracks?
yeah. I just
And
no.
coming.
Sounds like an implanted taser triggered by by entering a specifically violent state. Well, I mean that same violent state is the kind of mentality that a lot of fighters and combat sport practitioners enter.
I've been in that state and I wanted to kill someone, but I didn't do it, and I just stand there and just try to look cool as a cucumber.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable with that idea. Does self-defense trigger the taser implant? Exactly, Rex. Like, I'm about to take a life, and it's going to impact me in many ways the same way that murder would. Like, physiologically, biochemically, psychopharmacologically. Very much the same triggers.
You would orientate on by the adrenaline dump probably, and that could be in lots of different situations.
So, yeah, no. The answer, Miles, no, I wouldn't.
Or I guess it's a hypothetical, so I guess you'd have the neurological pattern figured out, but still.
Rex, I recommend someone watch A Clockwork Orange. Kubrick. Let's say the implant does something different. What if it can just detect when somebody's having frequent and violent thoughts or even actions and can notify a local therapy program, considering tons of people have issues with violent patterns of thinking and actions but are unwilling to get help?
Still creepy, but sounds good.
It's less bad, but yeah, I'm with Joe. That still sounds creepy and dystopian, but it's less bad this time.
Benevolently though, so.
Yeah. I
Completely depends on who's running the system, obviously, or what kind of system.
yeah, intrusive thoughts are a thing and aren't a part of what someone thinks necessarily.
That's always the thing. You have the utopian ideas that would be nice in a dream system that we want, that we have achieved, but then there's the realistic part where we live in this kind of capitalist hellhole. And
Estrella's got
a
a
hellhole. It's not all bad, but
Estrella's got a solid point. Also, that's just let's lock up mentally ill people.
yeah, pretty much.
It kind of is. It's in that same
tag him and bag him.
yeah. Like it's a little uncomfortable for sure. Like it smacks of a little eugenicsy sort of thing. It's got that same sort of quality to it. Oh, serious, trust me. Yeah. Serious. Even things like believing in anarchism is considered violence by authoritarians. It is. Force
true.
Is the state. Violence is the action against the state.
Yep. I stopped telling people. I should stop telling people.
Illinois is the first state in the union to actually pass a law banning police from lying to children when they interrogate them. This place is fucked.
Wow.
Right? It's perfectly legal in 49 states in this country for a cop to corner a child, bring them, detain them, and lie to them.
Kidnap them.
Yeah. Yeah, I always love the, non-Americans, what? How is that? Why are your police allowed to lie in the first place?
I mean, police is allowed to kind of lie about certain things everywhere, but
yeah, basically, there's a few factors as to how this ended up on the docket in Illinois. No one singular event, but one of the representatives there, I believe, senator, the state senator there, is who's sponsoring the bill.
Much better.
Yeah.
So, sorry for interrupting, but yeah, Germany is not much better. That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Let's see. No. Can you read that again? Let's see. Never have another person's name in your mouth when you're talking to the police. Kaiser. Spoken like somebody who's talked to the feds. What's the next fucking headline? New Mexico, first state to issue ban on police raping the spouses of suspects to get out of a confession. Hey, Nick. Actually, New York had to pass a law a couple of years ago forbidding the police from having sex with people in their custody because a woman, a young lady, she was barely 18, said basically they arrested her and raped her. The two cops who raped her said it was consensual, so it was 2 against 1, their word against hers, and so the only recourse she had was say that it was some level of disciplinary action, that they shouldn't be having sex with people in their custody. But fun fact, there was nothing on the books to prevent them from doing that. So New York State had to pass a law saying that, in fact, after you arrest somebody, you're not allowed to fuck them.
Amazing.
So there you go, premarital. There's your what's next.
Hey, Big Head. I've been to Frankfurt, and I know it's a little bit rougher in Frankfurt. I don't know. Me personally, with the police, it's I know anecdotes as well, but me personally, I haven't. I guess I had it happen.
So 49 still have legal police, a little bit, yeah.
Usually the situations are quite clear. Like last time, I just called them blueberries, and I just didn't like that. So
that's funny. What is that in German?
Blaubeeren.
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 Sorry, Blaubeeren.
That's not that bad.
Sorry, but you're never gonna get a proper accent out of me.
Sometimes you hit it quite well.
Welcome to America, said Caboose. And let's see. Back the blue, you're hilarious. This says the same person who spent like 90 minutes coming up with this question of does sex still feel good if you're wearing a condom? Hot take? No.
It's different.
It's inferior. It is. Wear
Better than
one.
STDs though.
Fucking wear one.
Yeah,
But
way better than STDs.
this is probably a reason to enter a monogamous relationship of some sort with an individual you can trust. That way you can ditch that condom. But if you're going to be fucking around, wear the fucking condom.
And still get tested regularly on the reg.
Yeah, that's a whole other ball game here in America. You have to go to a free health clinic run by the state and or Planned Parenthood to make that happen without like ending up with, I mean,
Bills.
a full workup from Quest Diagnostics, which is one of our major lab providers here in the U.S., basically ends up costing like HIV testing plus all of the other stuff. You can easily hit like $1,800 to $2,100 bill. Yeah, for a fucking STD
right.
test.
That is harsh. Yeah, here if you do it in quote unquote on a whim, you know, you don't have a specific like suspected activity or know someone who has something and told you. If you do it quote unquote on a whim, it's also quite expensive.
Apparently Frankfurt had
I
a
wanted to read that out.
neo-Nazi enter a shisha bar and shoot 11 Turks.
Shit. Yeah, that. Just when did that happen? Just
Germany and-
recently? I
Germany
haven't
and
checked out the
Turkey.
news recently, honestly.
Still at it after all these years.
Of course, you don't get rid of those fucking neo-Nazis. It's almost a dehumanization there.
Yeah, sadistic. I will tell you the same thing that Doug Stanhope said when discussing abortion. It's a living thing. Yeah, so is a genital wart. If it's gonna ignore you, burn it the fuck off. There's my opinion. Oh, I don't know.
Once during the pandemic, I've only been to Frankfurt once during the lockdown, but just like not for long. Didn't hang out.
Last year. Apparently last year.
Last year, okay.
Ask this to groups who invented the doner. Doner.
Oh.
Good old doner kebab. Did I just compare a child to a genital wart? Yes.
Yikes.
And if by child you mean a cluster of cells that is not viable outside a human womb until much, much later, yeah, that. And if you intend to remove the bodily autonomy of our female counterparts in this world by forcing them to be brood mares for the state, then, well, I've got a couple of places I want you to visit and some people to meet first. Let's just put it that way. It comes...
Formed life for a potential life.
Yeah, it comes down to personal property. The woman either owns her body or she doesn't. It's the same argument for the war on drugs. Do you own your body or not? Yes or no? If no, then fine. Go live off your little insane fantasy. But if you answer yes to that, then the conversation basically ends there.
The demographics.
Yeah. It wrecked.
it's
Uh-oh.
nice.
Sounds like Black Hammer. Yeah, Rev. Rev going with actual technical terminology. Rock on, the Blastocyst. And saying I would fight you on this one. $35,000 could win you this BTS chicken nugget shaped like an Among Us. For fuck's sake. Oh, how have we just not ended ourselves already as a species? All right, cool. That's cool. Hey,
Hey.
and Palestine
I
official.
started not giving a fuck.
And NB Aesthetic, thank you for the follow. Palestine official, thank you for the follow. And Jesus See Fit, thank you for the follow, I suppose. I look forward to whatever level of dogmatic or theologic stuff that you're going to put in. Thank you for the follow, Vomitus. Thoughts on end of life care or deep coma patients? I mean, have a DNR
Although,
is my first word of advice. Have a fucking do not resuscitate. Have an end of life plan. For the love of God, don't just, even if you're young, even if you're like, oh shit, that's, something I won't have to worry about till I'm 80. If you're 18 or above, have some legal paperwork drawn up that dictates what your wishes are. That way they're actually fulfilled. Because my thoughts on this are that you are an autonomous individual and you probably have your own morals, ethics, beliefs, and wishes in this world and life. And that anybody else's decision thereafter is an infringement upon that bodily autonomy that you so possess. And so maybe take the legal protections that our bullshit system requires you to do, but take them. That way, if you do hit an end of life moment for whatever reason, you will be handled in the way that you wish you would be handled, rather than by somebody else's standards of care. Anarchist without adjectives. I do not play GTA 5, but I just bought GTA 5 for $4.49 for literally the entire fucking thing, everything, plus like $10 million in online bucks if I want them. Like, it's an entire fucking package, and I got it for like less than $5.
let's start a mafia.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I've never played
cartel.
GTA 5.
Or cartel.
I've never played it. I haven't played GTA since like 1 or 2. I don't remember which one I played. It was the top-down one. And so it isn't a series that is close to my heart, but I know it's very beloved and it's an expansive world and people are quite fond of it. So I thought at less than $5 for everything. All right.
Narco and narco gang.
Yeah.
That's a mouthful. No, that does work.
So let's see. All right, let me scroll back. If you're an adult who could only survive by parasailing off your body, you still have the right to refuse. Fair enough. Now I want to fill out a living will just to post it on social media, says Rex. Hey, do what you got to do. For sure, says Days, who asked the question originally. For sure, my aunt put me as her pull the plug person. I played it, but I don't really do much online gaming. I got it for free on the Epic Game Store. Let's see. I think GTA 5 was on the Epic Store for free one day without add-ons. Yeah, like I said, for like $4.49, I got everything. Including freebies for the online shit, which I will never use. I've heard
$4.99, you get everything.
Yeah, GTA Online is the stuff of legend. I'm aware of what it's like. So I probably won't be venturing into that anytime soon. But yeah, I grabbed the game. I was like, for less than $5 for literally, I mean, the amount of content that's supposedly contained within that game, cool. I'm comfortable with that. Yeah.
If I ever get around to tagging, all the episodes, this is always gonna be like ads.
Ad.
/ads.
The fuck is Epic Store? I paid like $40 for that shit and I already beat it. Rev, if you're a PC gamer and you don't have the Epic, the Epic Game Store installed, you're nuts. Dude, they give away games all the time. They give away real games. Like, they give away games all the time. Like, continually. There's always a free game, sometimes 2 to 3, being given away on the Epic Games Store. Like, if you're a PC gamer, install this shit. Don't ever send them $1 if you don't want. You will still get... I mean, some of us who have had it for a while, I was late to the party. Some of the fucking people who are early adopters, dude, they've got like a couple hundred, like 200-300 free games from them already.
Good haul.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really. I haven't. for a long time now, I don't accept paying full price for games anymore.
Yeah, sometimes they're really shitty
Hey.
nothing games. You are right. But sometimes, here, let me launch it and see what they've kicked out. Sometimes they're kind of fucking amazing. In total, I have 480 games. I paid for maybe 40 of them. So about 440 games is what Viva's managed to pull out of them.
Wow.
I'm telling you. Torchlight, Unreal Tournament, The Escapist 1 and 2. Let's see. Alien Isolation, Amnesia, Among Us, Ark, Survival, Cities Skylines. Let's see. I'm scrolling past like the no-name ones. Enter the Gungeon, Football Manager 2020. That's current. Galactic Civilizations 3 plus expansions for it. Let's see. Hitman, Hue. A lot of people actually liked Hue. Killing Floor 2, Jurassic World Evolution, the Metro series. Like I've got basically all of those. NBA 2K21, they were just giving away. Oddworld, let's see what else. Rage 2, Pillars of Eternity, Remnants from the Ashes, the Shadowrun collection. They kicked down.
Games.
Yeah, they kicked down with.
I love Shadowrun.
Star Wars Battlefront 2. I will never play that, but they kicked it down. Surviving Mars. Let's see what else is in here that people like. Tropico, like this. Like, I think Tropico 5 and 6 they've given away. I've got Watch Dogs 2 in here. I mean they give away fucking games. Like if you're a PC gamer and you don't have this shit installed, I don't know what you're doing. Just install it. You just get free shit. So. Oh, let's see. Only way Epic Game Store fucked me up was getting Civ 6 for free, but all my friends had it on Steam. Not an issue until a friend had Civ 6 on Mac. Fair enough. They just don't hit my Kaiser. Well, I know why. I wish I could play video games nowadays. They just don't hit my dopamine like they used to. Yes, I can't imagine why, Kaiser. Have you found other things that scratch that dopamine itch a little bit better? See, direct pharmacological intervention in dopamine receptor output, or I should say dopamine receptor antagonization, to use the specific terminology, is always going to be superior to the video game version. So, you know how that goes. Rex said about GTA 5, it's solid, but GTA is better enjoyed if you can and feel like investing like 20 or more hours of your time to immerse yourself in it. It's not one I just pick up to kill time for a few minutes. No, Rex, that's how I would play it if I played it. You know, when I get around to it, I'll put a weekend into it or something like that. Let's see, oh, all right, cool. Yeah. Let's see, was there any other stuff? Oh, the tanky bootlickers are added again. Basically, there was an article posted about Belarus, about how Protasevich, sorry, the guy's girlfriend published personal information of police officers and their families on Telegram. And one of these tanky bootlickers comes in immediately. What a piece of shit. Doxing police officers who are genuinely protecting the interests of the working class. All right. Take it down a notch, tankies. The Belarusian police are not protecting the interests of the working class, you fucking bootlicking morons. Jesus.
I don't know how to get that idea.
Goddamn Christ, the tankies are just delusional. USA bad, Russia good, says Amorous. Yep. Belarus is a working class. Belarus is a working class with a vanguard party. Let's see. Oh, and who was that did this? Ken Klippenstein. He's a journalist. He basically he tweeted out a photo. What did he tweet with it though? Because that's yes. Okay, so he tweeted a bunch of like alt-right morons, Candace Owens, Dinesh D'Souza, and people like this. He tweeted at them saying, like, sir or ma'am, you know, whichever is appropriate. Sir, my grandpa's a big fan of yours. Here, actually, you know what? Let's see if I can put this on screen so y'all can see it too, because this is fucking special. All right. So Dinesh D'Souza retweeted this, of course. They all did. They all fell for this shit. Sir, my grandpa's a big fan of yours and is a veteran. He would be thrilled if you could retweet this photo of him for Memorial Day. Here he is as a young private first class. Now, is anybody not familiar with this story who actually knows who this is?
Picture seems familiar.
That is a picture of Lee Harvey Oswald. They all retweeted it. They all retweeted it. Not a single one knew who the fuck this is. Not a single one did any lick of fact checking. In fact, when Candace Owens was confronted with this, oh, yes, he was, Rex. The Marines trained marksmen. They trained riflemen first and foremost. So was the
Is the rifleman.
Yep. So was the Texas University tower shooter as well. They're Marines train riflemen. Candace Owens, when confronted with the fact that she was retweeting a picture of Lee Harvey Oswald for Memorial Day in the U.S., got angry and said, yelled about how leftists and trolls online are photoshopping uniforms onto these people. She didn't know that Lee Harvey Oswald was in fact a veteran and that this photo is authentic as well.
Well, that standard canned defense didn't fucking work out there, didn't it?
Yep. I mean,
It's
D'Souza,
on film.
Matt
Camera.
Gates, Candace Owen, like, I mean, yeah. She literally, she went on the defensive, like, this photoshopped. Like, oh, for fuck's sakes, Candace.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So just a fun little thing that happened over Memorial Day weekend for Americans. That's basic fucking American history. How the fuck? Caboose, these people are not bright. I'm sorry. They're not bright.
They're rich,
Yeah.
but they're not bright.
They don't know things. Knowing things is lefty bullshit, right? Like knowing stuff, that's leftism. Are you one of those like liberal radical leftists? How dare you know things from history? Yeah.
I kind of started dedicating knowing stuff to DuckGoGo, though. I gotta admit that.
Someone didn't watch Full Metal Jacket. Damn right, Night Loaded. Fucking Arlie Ermy will give you that lesson straight up. Rev, I can tell you for a fact some of the dumbest people I've ever met in my life, for realsies, like in person, have all been very, very rich. Yeah. It's
Being
one of those
rich
things.
insulates you from so much shit. It can insulate you from so much stuff. Doesn't have to, but it usually does.
I mean, go to the Wikipedia page for the FDR assassination, and you find this page here. Oh, you mean JFK?
Exactly. You don't have to be smart if you're rich, but you kind of have to be smart to become rich if you're not. Well, not necessarily. Dumb and lucky. That works out too.
If I tell my fan enough times he wasn't a veteran, doesn't that become the truth? Amorous is pretty much the modality that they're operating on, for sure. Yeah, it's like Viva, like JFK. It's okay, you're not from here. You're allowed to fuck that one up. But an American who would fuck that one up, we'd have issues. Yeah, basically Rev, Rev for sure.
You have to be ruthless. It's true.
Yeah, that is fair. Yeah, sincerely,
yeah.
I remember one client I did work for when I was working for somebody else. And the only other time that I was a field technician when I was trying to get established here in Las Vegas. And there was a conversation amongst the, like one of my IRL buddies and then a couple of the other technicians. And the consensus was, holy shit, have you talked to the president of this company? Yeah. Holy fuck, he's dumb. Hey, Carpe. Hey, Carpe's viewers. Right now we're just talking shit about rich people, quite frankly. So welcome. Yeah.
Favorite pastime.
We were talking shit about ignorant alt-righty fucking people online and how they got trolled by a journalist yesterday using Lee Harvey Oswald's picture, and then we sort of segued into talking shit about how a lot of rich people I've met in my life are really fucking dumb, and how being rich isn't necessarily correlative to intelligence, shall we say. Ruthlessness, though, was definitely on the on the table, on the menu.
Is probably the most useful. To make it.
How did your stream go, Carpe?
Put a human mask on it.
What did y'all get up to? What, you're telling me Elon Musk can be stupid? Yep. I heard someone did the same trolling with Christopher Dorner's Navy Reserve pick. Rock on, man. Rock on. Get him where you can get him. I'm a fan. Let's see. Matt Gates is a pedo Twitter account. Yes. Doom. Yep. The journalist, I forgot to mention that. The journalist, after a bunch of these people retweeted, changed his name to Matt Gates is a pedo. So all of their retweets read Matt Gates is a pedo. Forgot to mention that. Go watch his SNL appearance. He's not very bright. Dude, we watched it. We watched it here. And I got a block from YouTube because I upload to YouTube as part of the archiving process. And YouTube outright blocked me for airing even a portion of it, of his monologue. And yeah, dude, that was super cringy. We watched it on this channel. It was painful to watch.
How much fucking cocaine do you have to do to Venmo you fucking underage prostitute?
I know, right? So much. Stream was good. Talked about 100-year anniversary of Tulsa Massacre. I haven't talked about that on stream today, but we did the 215 kids. I got to that 4 hours after it was announced. It just so happened to coincide with my stream schedule, so that one went live kind of late one night, and so I was on the 215 kids, and it's far from the first time. I mean, we had somebody who was Irish in here, and I was like, go ahead and talk about how this is far from the first time we've seen residential schools turn up with sewers and graveyards full of baby bodies and shit like that. Ireland had a nice spat of that a few years back. Yeah, it's fucked. Balanced meal and groovy music and some good news too. Rock on. Yeah, I try not to eat on air, though I do it from time to time. Sometimes when I'm feeling particularly, well, let's go with ornery. And when I've checked out from something, I'll eat. But yeah, I'm glad you got a balanced meal in your Carpe, and I'm glad you got some groovy music as well.
Emrys, we actually have someone here at the dorm. Nice kid, but he literally says he doesn't care if he's gonna be in endangered servitude. He just wants to go to Mars. Absolute Musk fan.
I mean, all right. Seems Prego Uni doesn't produce a lot of very bright people. Prager University is actually producing a children's show. I've seen a trailer of it. They are making a kids show right now. So look forward to a Prager University children's show coming to a Boomers TV near you.
That shit is honestly the most worrying shit, because sometimes I catch glimpses and shit, like when I'm in like backyards or stuff, like from other apartments, when I was at friends and shit, like where kids are like in front of some weird ass fucking educational kids shit that is like, okay, what the fuck is that? Where you're like, oh my god,
Yep.
shit is boring.
Yep, ground penetrating radar all around residential schools and Catholic missions. Yeah, it's a whole thing. It's a whole fucking thing. Sense, what did you say? Doesn't take intelligence to inherit money in apartheid South Africa. You said pre-apartheid, yeah, in apartheid South Africa. Fair enough. Yeah, daddy fucking walking around with like uncut gems in his pockets as a fucking kid. I swear. You meant a balanced meal of news. I didn't eat this time. Well, fair enough. I've only done a couple of headlines this time around. I did the Illinois lawmakers made it illegal to lie to juveniles in their custody. What a fucking concept. I did. Did you get around to the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge? Because that for me was the big news. They've suspended all of the leases up in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, and they are putting them under review. And the Department of the Interior officially announced that they will determine whether the leases will be reaffirmed, voided, or subject to additional mitigation measures. But as of now, there are no active oil or gas leases in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. That may change. They may reaffirm some of the contracts. We don't know at this time, but for this moment in time, it is illegal to drill or prospect for oil and gas in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. So take the wins where you can get them, right? Take the wins where you can get them. Is legit terrifying. Does the U.S. have VeggieTales? Oh yes, Duffy, we have VeggieTales. We have VeggieTales. Kids should have more time to be kids. Oh, fuck yes, they should. I come from a poor family, not a well-off family, but I took the SAT. I know test taking does not mean intelligence, but the SAT test is something most American high school kids can take if they want. That is true. Preparation for it, though, tends to be, VeggieTales was a shit when I was a good little Methodist child, said Kaiser. The shit was so fucking lame to watch as a dumb fuck glue and crayon eating child. Oh, yeah, Carpe. Oh, Carpe, I've got a video for you to watch if you can look. Forgive me. I'm a good leftist. I don't have very good views of leftists. I'm a little cynical. Yeah, right. But I have a video for you to watch that goes along with a whole bunch. I don't know if you're familiar with Irish Swede. He's an economist and a finance major, dual major that we have in our community who works within private banking, like big boy banking sort of shit. Like, hey, we're in charge of $1 billion. Well, how do we protect it? Sort of stuff. And he's an anarcho-syndicalist, right? High levels of expertise. No, there's no Swede command. And so I had him go through this video like afterwards with me just to make sure that the financials, the veracity of the financials hold up. I've got a video for you that you may want to see. It is from a 2020 sustainability conference that Waste Management sponsored. And this individual was basically selling to corporate types the idea of, hey, the green technology that we actually need isn't here yet. Wind, hydro, geothermal, and solar aren't going to cut it. Here's a variety of factors why. But he goes through some really interesting factoids using demography and financial, like credit finances and stuff like that, and does a global analysis. The future looks a little bit different than what Americans have been told. And it's not as bad as Americans think it is for America, and it's a lot worse for the rest of the world. It is, and this isn't the only video I've seen this in. This isn't the only source of this I've seen. There's other demographers that I've seen these numbers from before. Yeah, it's a really eye-opening thing. You have to get past. By the way, the leftist comment was couching basically in the beginning. He's selling to a bunch of corporate types, corporate business people. So he's speaking their language and he's making concessions when talking about presidents and foreign policy and stuff that immediately make leftists like lose their fucking mind. So if you can turn all that off and just take it in and watch, there is some really astounding data in this video. Let me, I will attempt to scroll back a mile in the Discord server and see if I can find it. Or if anybody has that link from yesterday, because I told multiple people to hang on to that shit. All right, I'm doing it manually. Duffy with the win. Duffy with the win. That's it. This is Peter Zeihan. They're not going to be. It's the thing is that they've set a general societal and cultural expectation at this point. This is a ship. This is like an ocean liner turning in the ocean. It's not something you turn on a dime. It's something you turn over the course of potentially miles. And the cultural ramifications and the normalization of the one-child policy changed things. It changed things. And so they haven't been having replacement value for quite some time. They need 2.8 to hit their replacement mark, pretty much, from what I've heard from a few different demographers. And they weren't even hitting 1. Like their population is about, like their demographics are about to go off a cliff. Also, there's an approximate 38 million males in their society that are coming of age that will not have a chance at a partner. Period. And given the patriarchal, shall we say, slightly homophobic tone of their society, imagine 38 million incels. That's potential. Not saying it's going to happen every time, but I mean, these are some really fucked up things and that we have to consider.
Has anyone ever done this? I'm doing it. Request shit.
Carpe Unsee. Thank you for and by the way, thank you for the follow, G-Actual or Gactual, I don't know which pronunciation you prefer. Thank you for the follow, Circuit Overlord and Scout Omniform and Bond Member. Thank you for those follows. Thank you kindly. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff in that video that's worth watching. Just make it through the video. Yes, Joe.
Do you have the book Doors of Perception?
I don't have a physical copy in the house. I think that's in storage right now. But yes, I've read Huxley's Doors of Perception a couple of times back, especially in my early teen years when I was doing that sort of reading. Yeah.
I'm going to trigger the a reading from command. Has anyone done that so far?
No. Oh yeah. But I need to get a digital copy. Hang on.
Oh, I could have chosen something else.
Let's see. Yep. So yeah, Jesus. Is there any particular portion of it that you're going to redeem?
Honestly, no. Let me check. I haven't looked at that book in ages.
All right. Well, if there's a particular, you give it a look, and if there's a particular portion you'd like me to read, otherwise I will just do dealer's choice, the whole thing. Yep. No, it doesn't work that way, Estrella. So yeah, I only read Huxley's Brave New World. Yeah, if you haven't read like the Doors of Perception, basically it's Tripper sort of required reading. If you've done a shit ton of acid and or mushrooms and or DMT and or psilocybin and or peyote and/or. I mean, ayahuasca analogs therein. Yeah, it's kind of required reading. Can I redeem the entirety of Das Kapital? I mean, I've got the entirety of Das
It's not that
Kapital,
long.
but no. Let's see. Rev, I read Things Fall Apart. Kaiser fucking tapped in. That's a good fucking book.
The LSD, I mean, basically the beginning of the book. It starts with the with Lewin, LSD. Shit, I can't speak.
So tell you what, I will give you. What do you want? All right.
It's not long.
Well, I mean, it's 24 pages, but I'm not going to read the whole thing. But I'll do I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll do 5 paragraphs.
It's like 20 pages, yeah.
For those of you that came over with the Pax Carpe raid, there is a channel point redemption for me to read something out of like my theory collection or dealer's choice or your choice. And yeah, so that's what's about to happen. Joe redeemed a quick read here. I'm going to do 5 pages out of the beginning of Aldous Huxley's The Doors of Perception.
A little reprieve from politics and all the horrible things in the world.
Hey, and there's Cappy. That's the channel mascot. If you're unfamiliar, you can see him back there. There's Cappy. And there's Neil Breen. It was in 1886 that the German pharmacologist Louis Lewin published the first systematic study of the cactus, to which his own name was subsequently given. Anholianum lewinii was new to science, to primitive religion and the Indians of Mexico and the American Southwest. It was a friend of immemorially long standing. Indeed, it was much more than a friend. In the words of one of the early Spanish visitors to the New World, quote, "They eat a root which they call peyote, which they venerate as though it were a deity." Why should they have venerated it as a deity became apparent when such eminent psychologists as Janek, Havelock, Ellis, and Ware Mitchell began their experiments with mescaline, the active principle of peyote. True, they stopped short at a point well this side of idolatry, but all concurred in assigning to mescaline a position among drugs of unique distinction. Administered in suitable doses, it changes the quality of consciousness more profoundly and yet is less toxic than any other substance in the pharmacologist's repertory. Mescaline research has been going on sporadically ever since the days of Lewin and Havelock Ellis. Chemists have not merely isolated the alkaloid, they've learned how to synthesize it, so that the supply no longer depends on the sparse and intermittent crop of a desert cactus. Can take up to 10 years to mature. Alienists have dosed themselves with mescaline in the hope thereby of coming to a first-hand understanding of their patients' mental processes. Working, unfortunately, upon too few subjects within too narrow a range of circumstances, psychologists have observed and cataloged some of the drug's more striking effects. Neurologists and physiologists have found out something about the mechanism of its action upon the central nervous system. And at least one professional philosopher has taken mescaline for the light it may throw on such ancient unsolved riddles as the place of mind in nature and the relationship between brain and consciousness. Their matters rested until 2 or 3 years ago. A new and perhaps highly significant fact was observed. Actually, the fact had been staring everyone in the face for several decades, but nobody, as it happened, had actually noticed it until a young English psychiatrist, at present working in Canada, was struck by the close similarity in chemical composition between mescaline and adrenaline. Further research revealed that lysergic acid, an extremely potent hallucinogen derived from ergot, has a structural biochemical relationship to the others. Then came the discovery that, oh God, here we go. Everybody ready? Everybody ready? Then came the discovery that adrenochrome, which is a product of the decomposition of adrenaline, can produce many of the symptoms observed in mescaline intoxication. But adrenochrome probably occurs spontaneously in the human body. In other words, each one of us may be capable of manufacturing a chemical, minute doses of which are known to cause profound changes in consciousness. Certain of these changes are similar to those which occur in the most characteristic plague of the 20th century, schizophrenia. Is the mental disorder due to a chemical disorder? And is the chemical disorder due in its turn to psychological distresses affecting the adrenals? It would be rash and premature to affirm it. The most we can say is that some kind of prima facie case has been made out. Meanwhile, the clue is being systematically followed. The sleuths, biochemists, psychiatrists, psychologists are on the trail. By a series of, for me, extremely fortunate circumstances, I found myself in the spring of 1953 squarely athwart that trail. One of the sleuths had come on business to California. In spite of 70 years of mescaline research, the psychological material at his disposal was still absurdly inadequate, and he was anxious to add to it. I was on the spot and willing, indeed eager, to be a guinea pig. Thus, it came about that one bright May morning, I swallowed 0.4 of a gram of mescaline, dissolved in half a glass of water, and sat down to wait for the results. This, folks, is how Aldous Huxley became what you know as Aldous Huxley.
The Rooks.
Jace? Yeah, that was Aldous Huxley. And it was at a time where that kind of thought was new.
I mean, he says 1/10 of a gram. That's like, that's a gram, dude. Like, what?
No, 4/10 of a gram.
No. What am I saying?
So 400 mils.
I'm too high. Yeah, see, yeah, it's other way around. Jesus.
Mescaline, Nair Socks. Mescaline. It was the first time Aldous Huxley took mescaline, which changed everything for many of us. The impact that Huxley had on writers and science fiction writers and psychological theorists and psychopharmacologists was not small. No, it's not sensibilium. Sorry. No, it's not a heroic dose. Yeah, I would, dude. There's so much. I'm not a mescaline fan, but that's just me. Again, never. Laws of your locality, not medical advice. Blah 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 blah. Insert legal disclaimer here. All right, so I'm gonna scroll up in chat. So while I was reading. All right.
It was fun. I gotta run. I'll be listening.
Oh, sorry. All right. Yep. Catch you later.
See y'all.
Yes, Karina, I was actually, Joe had redeemed, a reading from, he requested The Doors of Perception by Huxley. And so I was reading the first few paragraphs. And now Karina's AFK. Dun, dun, dun. Night loaded, solid. Let's see. When Kai's reading, it means there's too many people in chat, says Amorous. Nope, it's just, that's what Joe redeemed. Alright, so, it's like 6 cents. When I sense someone's going to start reading or lecturing, my brain's like, I'm out. Alright, All right, and I read that, and so I'm caught up on that. Can't wait to get my hood up and go and piracy. All I've ever tried is weed and meth. So that's all I've ever tried is weed and meth. Jesus, Rev. Yeah, Shreya, just a little bit. Yeah, mescaline's just a little bit different than meth. And Africa is just a little bit different from Antarctica. Just a little bit. Duffy, we had a raid from Carpe, reading from Doors of Perception by Huxley was the last thing that that just happened. Joe redeemed a reading, and I did the first 5 paragraphs. Rev, I'm guessing gabapentin. That sounds like gabapentin territory. Do antipsychotics count as well? I mean, sure, why not? Viva, I don't know what any of these words mean. Oh. And let me see if Karina, you there? Oh, whatever. You snorted Lyrica? You snorted a biologic? Is there, like, do you have a trip report on that one? Like, did it do anything for you? Kang. Yeah, it's always nice to see drugs is continuing to win the war on drugs. Yeah, Lyrica is in pregabalin, isn't it? Am I fucking up my medications here? It is pregabalin. I'm sorry. I'm fucking up my my medications here. My bad. I'm sorry, my brand names have merged into one. Kang, I never MDMA 3,4-methylene dioxy and methamphetamine. I never wanted to have sex on it. It was never my thing. All right, did I miss anything? Let's see. Made me walk in squiggly lines for a while. Fair enough. It sounds about right. All right, so I can close this. All right, cool. I think it was the combination of Hennessy and E. All right. You do you. I don't know. Karina, can you hear me? Are you? Send me a DM if you can still hear me. If you're just in like one-way communication on DM, because I see you DMing me, but let me know. Otherwise, I'll answer you when you get back. The sleep deprivations would get you first. Yeah, I'll do the number. Fair enough, Kang. Fair enough. I was a heavy user of psychedelics for a long period of time. I've made no bones about that. When I learned at age 14 I could hack my brain, coming from an IT background. Those of you that don't know me, I'm not going to do the spiel. Those that do know me, I'm not going to do the spiel, don't worry. But let's just say I'm heavily steeped in technology from a exceedingly young age for somebody in my age category, right? When I learned at age 14 that I could hack my own brain using simple molecules for all intents and purposes, let's just say I was off to the races. FiCal was the first book I consumed. Phenethyl I've Known and Loved by Alexander Shulgin. This was my training ground, as it were. Things got interesting from there. Caboose fucked it up. That means you don't get to mark it off on your bingo card, Caboose. Typos nullify the check mark. We should make a bingo card though. We really should. It'd be fun. Curse you, dyslexia. Oh, here. Do you want to actually real burner? Like you mean this stuff over here? Do you want to see the whole thing? Where is my? There's my capture. There you go. Can we use the bingo card as a drinking game during stream? Amorous, I do not condone nor encourage you to use a Kai Proudly Radical bingo card as a form of drinking game while I'm on stream. All I will say is that I would laugh if you were. It would amuse me. But of course, I would never encourage that sort of, you know, imbibing of toxic product, of course. Unless it's a bad movie night. Dude, if you guys don't know, we do bad movie nights on Friday on the Discord server. You're always invited. Anybody's welcome. You'll see us stack into voice chat sometime after I'm done streaming on Fridays. And yeah, let's just say there's a lot of alcohol and cannabis consumption going on. It's a fun time. It really is. It's a fun time. I mean, we've got a pretty good list so far, and not to, you know, too much, as little as ego as I can put in it. I have a pretty good sense of bad movies. And so yeah, we watch some really good bad movies. It's a fun time. Always invited. Oh, let's see. They're also fun when done sober. Yeah, I mean, you can do that, I suppose. But if you watch a Neil Breen movie not high off your tits, I don't, like, for real. We need a little more Breen, Caboose. We need a little more Breen in our life. Neil Breen, everyone. You're planning on making my dad watch Six String Samurai. Six String Samurai is one of the movies we watched this last Friday. We do a double header. I usually start those movies sober. It really is. After a week of doing political theory and talking, like, you know, heavy topics and you know, my primary topics are political theory, economics, and theology, right? Like, these are not light topics. So after a week of doing that, yeah, my community really, we get down on that sort of thing. We do. It used to be a username of yours on some platforms. Rock on. Big Headed Sam, it's Friday after the stream on the Discord server. It's usually 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes after I finish streaming, so I can make some food and feed myself. And then we meet on the Discord server. And we just, you'd see us all in voice chat. Yeah, it really is. It really is a good time. Bunch of us sitting around, getting kind of fucked up, watching really shitty movies, and just dunking on them. Yeah, it's a good time. After that, after all that, Troll 2 is a therapeutic experience. It is. It really is. Like Maximum Overdrive. We haven't gotten to Maximum Overdrive. Like, the sweet spot for really good bad movies is like 1978 to 1989. Like, there's newer bad movies. Like, Neil Breen's movies are newer. Six String Samurai is newer, but it's not in that top tier. Birdemic is in that category, and it's newer. But the vast bulk of really good, shitty movies, mid 70s to late 80s. That's the heyday. The original Death Race 2000. Yeah, Carpe knows what's up. The God, Birdemic was painful. Caboose. Birdemic 2 may be in this week. We're gonna finish the pairing. Rev, I grabbed him. We will do that one day. I promise, Rev. Oh, Kang. Trust me. Nick Cage is a hero. Oh, believe me. Bad Lieutenant is a thing of beauty. You know, trust me. Nick Cage is. We actually, Kat and I, one of my mods and longtime friends, and from another panel. We watched Jiu-Jitsu, which is one of Nick Cage's new movies. There's 3 instances of actual jiu-jitsu in an entire movie. Kat is a fighter. So yeah, trust me. Nick Cage, but using Nick Cage movies on Bad Movie Night is kind of like cheating. It's kind of like using Neil Breen. It's, you know, you do it sparingly because they're amazing. We also did the Five Nights at Freddy's ripoff movie. I forget what that one was called. But yeah, we watched that one as well. That starred Nick Cage, and he did say a thing the entire time. We've got actually Nick Cage is a crutch. Exactly. You know what's up, Carpe. Willy's Wonderland. Thank you. Yeah, we've got some emotes on the Discord server, from Willy's Wonderland. Yeah, Caboose, who's in chat right now as well, is a meme lord and an emote master. So when that kind of stuff comes up while we're watching movies, Caboose is cranking out memes and emotes right alongside it. So yeah, for sure. Oh, Astral, I promise you come to Bad Movie Night on our Discord server. I will introduce you to some bad movies you've never heard of and that you will love. If you love bad movies, I got you. I got you back. That movie, Mandy, blew my mind. Dude, Mandy was the thing. No, I haven't, Joe. I haven't. You got a link? Send it. Let's see. And what do you think of the car? You know what? Hang on. Nothing, because it's not clicking for some reason. Hang on. Oh, it's the possessed car. Oh, yes. Okay. That took a second to click. That feels bad. It's in that it's in the deathbed, the bed that eats people category of movies, right? There's like a subgenre of the bad movie category genre that is like possessed item murders people. It's in that category. So, I mean, serviceable. Usually, like, that bad schlocky horror film sort of stuff is amazing to watch. So, yeah. Just found out Nicolas Cage voiced Spider-Man Noir and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Makes sense. I mean, he's perfectly competent voice actor. He's a perfectly competent actor, by the way. He's insane and over the top, and he always plays Nick Cage these days. But he's a perfectly competent actor. It's not, you know. I love Nick Cage.
I have returned.
All right. Yeah, I have mixed feelings on that DM. Let's just put it that way. We'll see is my response. We'll see. Raising Arizona is my all-time favorite comedy. There's actually, because I saved it. Get out of my way. There we go. Some notable mentions. Hot Shots Part 2. The Other Guys, Office Space, Airplane, Death to Smoochie, Galaxy Quest, fucking Galaxy Quest, Hot Fuzz, of course, any of the Monty Python stuff, any of the Pink Panther stuff, Spaceballs, the Naked Gun series, for like all-time comedies. Yeah. Galaxy Quest is one of the greatest fucking movies ever made. I'd say change my mind, but you're not going to. Galaxy Quest is a top tier movie. 100% knows what it is, knows what it wanted to be, had the exact right cast to deliver it. And I honestly, yeah, Galaxy Quest was one of the best movies ever made. Plain and simple. Sigourney's Weaver cleavage was apparently an accident. Interesting. Mystery Men, yeah, fucking dude, Janine Garofalo needs to get out and work more. I like Janine. I'm a stand-up nerd, right? Like, stand-up comedy is one of those things that I've been following and studying for years and years and years and years. And yes, I'm a snob about it. All right, I make no bones about this. It just is what it is. I am an elitist when it comes to stand-up comedy. Janine is good. She needs to get out there and fucking work more. I had a crush on Garofalo. She's great. Yeah, hell yeah, loved her. Haven't seen her in a long time. Jim Carrey's best movie was The Mask. Don't at me. He was made for it. No, actually, I would agree with that. Jim Carrey is like strong liquor. There's a place for it. Night Loaded, solid. You had a crush on Molly Shannon. I sense you, Ace Ventura stands out there. Silence. Carve, I like The Mask. Cable, was it Cable Guy? It was the Cable Guy, right? Like, I'm remembering that title correctly. That was a solid dark comedy for him. Dark for him. Yeah. But I used to be a Jim Carrey fan until the 2000s. I get that. Yeah, I miss. I'm Janine. Janine needs to get out there and work more. There's a few people that aren't working as much as they should, in my opinion.
Listen, don't at me. The Sonic movie actually reignited my love for Jim Carrey.
He was the right guy for that role. I don't think that was the right telling of Robotnik, but I think if you are going to tell Robotnik in the way they did, Jim Carrey was the guy you hire. Plain and simple.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm going to be interested how they're going to try and turn him into the Mike Myers-like Eggman that he kind of should turn into.
Well, I mean, they sort of started that at the end of the movie. To be fair to them, they did start that towards the end of the movie. Isn't he like a leftist now, says Sam? Jim Carrey is one of those galaxy brain types that I think went off meds or did meds and then went off meds or took way too much. Didn't he was supposed to have played Terrence McKenna in some like pseudo docu flick or some shit like that, which, by the way, Terrence McKenna is a hero of mine just for a few reasons. And I have never seen Jim Carrey's interpretation of Terrence McKenna because I've seen Terrence McKenna. I don't need some dude pretending to be him. But apparently he took like a shit ton of DMT and shrooms and kind of fucked himself up even further. And he's been really weird ever since. I know he was really weird to start with, but like that, like weird fucking red carpet interviews and get very spacey and different. Yeah, he went berserk while filming Man on the Moon. Oh, that started him down the road for sure. Trying to get into the headspace as Kaufman is not an easy thing to do. Kaufman was unique. He was singularly unique. And so yeah, trying to occupy that headspace would be difficult and probably do a number on you. Yeah, and then he did a bunch of fucking DMT and mushrooms, and shit got really fucking weird. Astray, you'll be fine. He just did way too much. Mike Myers cannot be replaced. Have you seen So I Married an Axe Murderer? I have.
I have not.
It's a little bit before your time. It's a little bit before your time. But, I mean, you know, get around to it.
Well, Mike Myers kind of killed his career with The Love Guru, and he just decided to not pick it back up. He just stayed with Shrek.
Dude, I think we just watched a trailer for this the other day, Carpe, or like a few of us did. I forget where we were hanging out. We were watching this trailer. This feels eerily familiar. Burnt Offerings. A family moves into a large old mansion in the countryside, which seems to have a mysterious and sinister power over its new residents. Yeah. Yeah, this feels familiar for some reason. I don't think I've seen it, though. Movie scared the shit out of me as a kid. You know what did a number on me? Was Event Horizon. I was alone. I was home alone for a weekend when Event Horizon came out, and I was not a fucking small child. I was in double digits, you know, at that time. Like I was early teenage, sort of like 13, 14-ish.
And you watched gore porn.
Even still, like, dude, this is before a lot of like Event Horizon did a number on my psyche. It may be the reason that I don't like horror to this day. Like, it legitimately may be the origin point for that. It did a bit of a number on me. Dude, Carpe, as an adult, you'd be fine. As, like, an impressionable youth, dude, that movie's fucked up. It legitimately is a fucked up movie. Fuck yeah, I was young for that one. This is Maniac. Rev to Google. DuckDuckGo, motherfucker. Stop using Google. Hey, boss. How are you, boss? And himself, yes, Event Horizon. Dude, I'm telling you, it was... Okay. Speaking of bad movies, I'm going to end up watching Battlefield Earth this weekend, says Estrella. I enjoy Battlefield Earth for all the wrong reasons. Carpe, I saw A Clockwork Orange at 7. I'm pre-damaged. I mean, different kind of damage. Event Horizon's a different kind of damage. Stop discouraging using the word Google. I need them to lose their trademark. Estrella, they defend it. They won't lose it. As long as they actively defend it from time to time, they won't lose it. Boss, well, I mean, it isn't physical therapy. It's fucking, yeah, it's sports performance shit. But, you know, it's a thing. Yeah, I was there today. I talked about at the top of the stream. My right shoulder's a little borked, as a result, but I'm taking a couple of days off and gonna take it easy. And by easy, I mean probably overdo it. It's just who I am. But yeah, it's going. I mean, Carpe, it's all the monomyth at the end of the day. It's all the monomyth. This is all Joseph Campbell shit. Told and retold and retold, right? It's whether you're talking The Matrix or A Clockwork Orange or the Bible or the story of Siddhartha. It's Joseph Campbell's monomyth. It's the hero's journey. We've been telling the same fucking story in our global society since forever. There's a few outliers, of course, but the fact of the matter is the majority of our stories are the hero's journey. Just the way it is. It works. And I mean, that's not even taking anything away from, you know, it's the story. It is the story, right? I'm cool with it. Goddamn Andrew Wakefield. That's Rev. My left shoulder is slightly sore from the vaccine, and I can't remember if that's normal because of all the goddamn hysteria over it. Yeah, I'm comfortable with the monomyth. I am. I will confess, I was minorly annoyed when the Wachowski sisters came out and said that, like, you know, The Matrix was always a story about transsexuality. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, it's the monomyth. You can rebrand that however many times you want. You can talk about society, cultural waking up, transhumanism, transsexuality. You can do as many rebrands of that as you want. It's the monomyth at the end of the day. You basically ripped off the Bible. You could throw an aesthetic on it and say that that's what you meant from the very beginning. I'm cool with that. You do you. You're the creators. But if you try and sell me that story as anything other than the monomyth, then holy shit, go back to like a writing 101 class. That story is probably the biggest retelling of Joseph Campbell's A Hero's Journey monomyth that I've seen in my lifetime. It is the monomyth epic. I totally call the third Matrix the Passion of the Neo, says Carpe. It is. It's the monomyth. I'm sorry. Like, maybe it's, you know, the monomyth with transsexuality aesthetics or underpinnings. Okay, cool. But let's own up. We did another retelling of the hero's journey. It's just the way it is. Wouldn't be the first one. Astral. I've heard the stories about the philosophy books that they had to study, and I've seen some of the titles that the readers were actually the actors were required to study. I've heard the stories about how Lawrence Fishburne was the only one who understood any of it, quite frankly. And you know, I'm aware of all of that. It's the monomyth. Yeah. To be fair, you can't tell different stories using monomyth template, so it can be both. To be fair, you can tell different stories using the monomyth template. Yeah, I mean, I'm comfortable with that, Amorous. Like, the monomyth is the core of most human storytelling. I'm okay with that. But, you know, when people try and deny that it is, the writer, the you know, frustrated writer in my soul, comes out. It's like, come on now, own up. You did another retelling of the monomyth, and that's fine, but don't try and pretend you created something new, because very few people ever have. Oh, we don't need another hero. We don't need another champ. Fair enough. It's apparently a song. I don't recognize that, but either way, welcome, Walada. What are you talking about? Kiana would have been reading it saying, dude, most excellent. All we are is dust in the wind, dude. Can you name a better movie than Sharknado? No, you can't. No, you can't. It's impossible. Dude, the Sharknado series are great. They're in that Tremors category of movie. They're great. If you were expecting a good...
I actually have to give them a chance, because, like, Tremors has actual good, like, storytelling in, like, the area and writing.
Maybe on the first one. And I'll grant minor exceptions for portions of the second and third one, but the fact of the matter is, if after we're talking the third Tremors movie, it's all just...
Are you forgetting the Wild West actual set in the Historian era
It's
one?
all schlock.
It was schlock.
Come on. And so, like, Sharknado's in that camp, which I love that stuff. Are you kidding me? I did a quick scan of the Shrieker Island after we talked about it, and it's about the same as the previous one. There's no grand return to practical effects and stuff like that. It's just what it is. Yes, Night Loaded, they are still making Tremors, and they still have plans for 3 more of them. They're up to number 7.
Yeah, they figured out how to make them on the smallest budget ever.
Yeah, I'm quite the fan of that sort of thing. I have the entire Sharknado collection. I have the entire Tremors collection. Big fan.
Karina likes puppets.
Hidden gem of political movies, All the President's Men. Also, Charlie Wilson's War. If you want to understand the shit fuckery that is Afghanistan, Charlie Wilson's War actually does a really good job. That's definitely a good telling of it.
Leprechaun Back in the Hood.
Oh yeah, have you never seen Leprechaun Back to the Hood? Holy shit!
I'm trying to forget it with every moment of my breath.
Yeah. It's a fucking great movie. The Leprechauns. Yeah, there's like 7 leprechauns.
I actually didn't mind the first one. I liked the fuck you, Lucky Charms.
Let's see. Sharknado knows what it is and runs with it, and it's entertaining. 100%. Leprechaun in space. Yeah, I'm comfortable with a lot of that. The Rev, I think I only saw Leprechauns too. Yeah, you got to see Leprechaun. Like, is it? Hold on. I want to just double check. In the Hood. It's in the Hood. It's Leprechaun in the Hood. It's the 5th one, by the way. Yeah. Josh Brolin is in the Killer Car movie too. Rock on. Josh Brolin does good work. I got Leprechaun 1 through 3 on VHS. Holy shit. Labyrinth. I respect it. I really do. Back to the Hood came out. Okay, so you're doing the okay, so that's the other one.
Was it like number 7 or something?
That's number 6. It's the sequel to In the Hood.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a sequel within, like, yeah, a continuing franchise. What are you going to do?
I don't think I haven't bit deep into some of these bastard franchises yet. I'm excited, but also nervous.
Okay, so how many of you degenerate fuckers? By the way, I changed the subscriber title from fellow proud radical over to anarchist degen. So if you have a subscription on the channel, what it actually lists you as is an anarchist degen. Just FYI. So how many of you fucking degens are familiar with the the Ginger Dead Man and the Killer Bong crossover? Because there's the Killer Bong versus Ginger Dead Man movie. And that is a movie to behold. If you want shitty fucking horror. Evil Bong. Sorry, that's what it is. It's Evil Bong. Evil Bong versus Ginger Dead Man is the crossover of the two franchises. It is amazing. Hey, Lucy. How are you? Because bad crap movies, it's just, it's fucking amazing. The Rev Philistines. Yes. Oh, now I get insulted for giving you Bezos money? Viva! Viva! I am a fellow degenerate. I have nothing but respect for degenerates. The fact of the matter is I am attempting to reclaim a pejorative that the right wing attacks us with all of the time. Christian nationalists and alt-righters who believe our lifestyles are that of degeneracy. I'm attempting to use the descriptive nature of language to shift and modify cultural perceptions. You fucking degen. Love you. Labyrinth. We already we do bad. If you're just walking in, we do bad movie nights on Fridays after the stream on the Discord server. We already did Troll 2. Yeah. We've watched that one as a community. Rev's right there. Yeah, we watched that one like 2 weeks ago. Everybody seen the made-for-TV Howling with George Jones? No, Rev. What's up, Karina?
I was gonna ask, could you send me a copy of The Astrologist? I'm gonna do a bad movie IRL once I get my second vax, and I know my friends do too.
Okay.
So-
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can make that happen. And it's The Astrologer. Yeah. It's the 1976 Craig Denny masterpiece. Honestly, it should have more Oscars than anything else. I would take away all of the other movies' Oscars that have ever been awarded Oscars and give them to the 1976 Craig Denny film known as The Astrologer. It may be the greatest cinematic masterpiece ever put to film. It is the greatest thing you will ever watch. Be sure to be high and or drunk. I don't even like corn, and I'll never look at it the same way again, says Rev. Dude, that chick had a thing with the corn. That was for sure.
You can't see my face right now, but I'm astonished. I have no context about this movie, and I'm so excited.
Oh, that was Troll 2. The corn?
Oh, right, yes.
Yeah, with the corn on the cob, and she's like banging the dude, and there's popcorn everywhere and shit.
Man, she just forgot to put green on the fucking corn.
Yeah, she wanted to bang some teenager apparently. You know, it was the 80s.
Dude, she like regenerated her body. She felt hot. Fuck it, I gotta use it.
I'd be completely fooked. I know that feeling, Lucy. Not only they're not replacing my dead chair, they're gonna try and repo my loaner chair Thursday. My loaner chair died, and they won't help me fix it because they're gonna repo that. So I'm already stuck in bed, struggling with a manual chair and arms sore as hell, and partially dislocated shoulder and knees. Fuck, Lucy. Man. Some comrades coming Thursday to try and prevent a full repo attempt. Oh man, Lucy. God damn it. That's... I don't know what to say to that. And Carpe, no, I don't remember you asking about medium rare, but I can't remember if I've asked if you've seen medium rare. No, I've seen it. Oh god, it's the two goons. Movie producer hires the fucking two guys to kill somebody. That's basically all I remember. Let's just say I'm a lot high when I watch a lot of these movies. Burt Young. All right. Yeah, that one didn't stick, Carpe. But yeah. Pulp Fiction is the best movie of all time, I'm sorry. I mean, I get it. At least it's not a shitty movie that you just said is the greatest movie of all time. I'm for it. It's a good movie. It's well put together.
I don't think I can make that determinant.
But, you know. Viva! Fucking get on it. One Day Removals is Lucy's best movie. I think I'm going to stick with it. I've said it before. I know what, my favorite movie, like, for multitude of reasons, is probably The Holy Mountain. It really is. Jodorowsky made a masterpiece, the likes of which we will never see again. It is batshit insane. It is crazy for all of the best reasons. Yeah. Late 70s surrealist, Spanish surrealism, funded by like John Lennon and shit. Like, are you kidding me? Like, it's in that like Blazing Saddles territory of like, we will never see another one of those made again. You're never going to see The Holy Mountain made again. It's just a one-time thing. I really do like that movie, and I really like showing that movie to people. That's my favorite thing about that movie, is sitting down people who have never seen The Holy Mountain and be like, okay, motherfucker, here's the joint, strap the fuck in. Fifth Element, respect it. Not Hodorowski, nice. Yeah, how do I feel about Zardoz? Zardoz is great too, dude. Fucking shirtless, beach running, Sean Connery, like big old manly fucking. He basically had tits at that point. Let's just admit it to ourselves. They used to take leather bags full of ice water and put it on his chesticles to tighten them up right before shooting. I'm not kidding you. They used to do that for him when he was filming the Bond franchise. Anytime he had a shirtless scene, they'd take bags, leather bags full of ice water, put it on his pecs to suck him up, get it all tight, and then action. It's a real thing. Justicles since high school. Number 1 is The Crow. Number 2 is Blade Runner. Number 3 is Doom Generation. All right. I mean, dude, Brandon Lee did good work. I'm presuming the original Blade Runner, Labyrinth, which is a good fucking movie. I didn't like the newest one compared to the original. There was something off about it for me. I don't know. I've still yet to put my finger on what didn't feel right, but I'm not as much of a fan of the new one as the original. Fucking Breon James. Yes. Yep. Yeah, this is true, Rev. Yeah, OG. Okay. Cool. Fuck reboots. I mean, it was, you know, was it a reboot? It doesn't matter. Terminology. Fuck it. I don't know why I translated that. El Topo. Yeah. Night Loaded. Yeah. I don't know why you translated them all. El Topo is the movie that Hodorowski did that got John Lennon's attention. That landed him the funding for the Holy Mountain. And in its own right, El Topo is crazy as shit too, because Hodorowski is crazy as shit. I still wish we had a Hodorowski Dune film. Dude, Hodorowski making Dune, I still don't know what that would have looked like, but I really, really want to have seen it. I wish it existed so we could all witness what the hell a Hodorowski Dune film would look like. Hodorowski Dune is the best movie never made. 100%. Oh man, that would have been crazy as fuck to see. Hodorowski's batshit in all the best ways. Labyrinth, I'm a stubborn originalist. That's okay. I get it. Same, it would have been the best Dune ever. I think it would have been. I really do. I think he would have brought that Spanish surrealism that he's so iconic for, that really would have put a bit of a twist on Dune that modern incarnations aren't going to do. They want grandiose blockbuster shit out of Dune for the modern incarnation that's being made, and Hodorowski's Dune would have been just a mind fuck and a half. It would have been great.
I think the greatest film I've ever seen is probably Pan's Labyrinth.
Fair enough. Anybody know that the dude's name? Not the actor, the guy who plays all of those roles in costume. Big, tall, gangly little white dude who's infamous for playing those sort of character creature costume things. He's infamous for it at this point. But yeah, he's the first thing that springs to mind when I think of Pan's Labyrinth, because he does such an amazing job. Doug Jones? Yeah, no. It's Doug Jones. Let me just double check. I just want to make sure, but yeah, it's Doug Jones. Yeah. Thank you, Amorous. Thank you. Yeah, that dude's amazing, by the way. Yeah, he's really good at what he does. Dyslexia.
Oh my god, he was the Burger King man.
Oh yeah, he was
the
a
Burger
bunch of
King
shit.
moon.
Yeah, oh yeah, Doug Jones played a lot of characters. A lot of characters. Yeah.
Well, it looks like I've loved almost everything he's done with. Oh my god, why can't I remember the Guillermo del Toro? Yeah, it looks like I liked everything he's done with Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo del Toro basically demands him.
That makes sense.
They got to know each other over one project, and Guillermo
Oh shit, he's the only character I like from Discovery.
Yeah.
The new Star Trek.
Guillermo basically like writes roles for him now. That's what Guillermo does for Doug these days. It's like, you will have a role in my movies, plain and simple.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what you're so good at, and I want to shine this light on you.
Yeah, you're a master at your craft. Why wouldn't you want, if you can create a space where masters can work, why wouldn't you create that space? Yes. Gwess on Star Trek Discovery says Lucy. Not Circus. Carpe. Let's see. I would have loved to have seen a version of Constantine with Guy Pearce instead of Keanu, if only because I think he's a good actor and who looks more like the comic book character. He does look more like the comic book character. I agree with that, but I really like Keanu's Constantine. I really do. And Keanu has said he would be willing to go back and revisit that.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
There's literally a movie of his rival coming out.
Yeah, David Tennant is my favorite choice for Constantine to Kang. I mean, it's hard to go wrong with Tennant. He's a fucking good actor.
See, I love Tennant, but I feel like
The physicality of Constantine, Keanu embodies better than Tennant.
See, I feel like Tennant would so much be better for playing the demons that Constantine would be dealing with. I might be biased, but I loved him in Good Omens.
Yeah. He does. He plays evil characters very well.
Like, everyone knows him as the Doctor, but as he puts it, that's probably the nicest guy role he's ever played.
He made his bones doing a lot of those like evil British characters.
Mm-hmm.
Or
bastard cops.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's the accent. Keanu.
Everyone's like, yeah, what's with his accent? It sounds so weird for a Bridgman. It's because he's Scottish, you dipshit.
Yep. Keanu and Johnny Mnemonic. Keanu and anything. Look, Keanu's in that category now. Like, early Keanu stuff is one thing. Keanu's in that, like, Tom Cruise camp. He puts in the fucking work. All right, say what you will about
one movie that he should have.
Affectations or not the greatest acting or whatever, right? He puts in the fucking work. And the difference between the two of them, Tom Cruise probably puts in more work for the physicality of his roles. He really does. He's probably the greatest action star we have ever seen in the history of cinema. It's ridiculous the amount of work that man puts in, especially at his age. But Keanu is actually a good human being. Tom Cruise has got the whole Scientology baggage. Keanu is, by all accounts, a fucking bro. Everybody who's ever talked to this man and met him and interacted with him says he's one of the greatest people you will ever meet. He's legitimately a good human being. And he gives a shit. So, Keanu's got a lot of shit going for him in that regard. But Tom Cruise is insane when it comes to his physicality.
Tom Cruise is willing to break his body for the sake of the shot being good. Sometimes he's willing to break his body just for the sake of having many shots. He seems to genuinely sometimes want to test his mortality.
It's a different thing for him. I totally get it. When he was filming Days of Thunder, I get it. Like, I mean, for those of you that came from Carpe and don't know me and don't know Kai's shtick, skydiving, rock climbing, rappelling, whitewater rafting, you know, of driving fast. Like I'm in that camp of my brain chemistry's a little tweaked, shall we say. And while he was filming Days of Thunder, literally going in some shots upwards of 180 miles an hour in a car, he decided to take up skydiving, and he started skydiving into work. All right, this is Tom Cruise's mentality. This is a dude who commits. Learned to hold his breath for 11 fucking minutes for one scene because he didn't want to fake it. Didn't want to use camera trickery or cuts. He'll learn to hold his breath. He'll do what it takes, right? Like, that dude is operating on a different level. One of my favorite scenes, I've never even seen the Mission Impossible it comes from. One of my favorite scenes of his of all time is a building jump he does. And when he lands, the scene is that he grabs the edge, right? And the feet scrape along the edge of the building. His right ankle shatters on impact. I mean, fucking snaps. What does Tom Cruise do? What do you think Tom Cruise does? He pulls himself up to the edge and runs off in Tom Cruise fashion and finishes the shot on a goddamn shattered ankle because he's Tom fucking Cruise. The guy's batshit. He's operating on a whole other level, and I have mad respect for it. There's very few people that are willing to commit to that level of action star quality. Super low Thetan count, yeah. Let's see. Keanu also gave us Point Break. Dude, Point Break is an amazing movie. He's not a suppressive. That is true. My bad. Christian Bale is going to be Gore. Keanu's probably going to kill Spider-Man because he's going to be Kraven the Hunter. Interesting. Bale's also a good actor, but I don't like him as much. I have the John Wick trilogy, and I should probably watch it sometimes. Dude, original John Wick is probably the original John Wick movie may be the defining action movie of, like, a couple generations.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. It changed everything. It changed everything.
Mm-hmm. It said, fuck you, what you thought. Like, everyone thought these kinds of action movies were dead, where it would be more, like, actual, you know, martial arts, like, not style, but skill. Like,
yeah.
Skill over style.
Yeah, legitimately. And Carpe, Theta male, by the way, fucking brilliant. Here, I'll give you a little JLP.
Beta.
And
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, John
However,
Wick is
though,
amazing.
Go ahead.
Oh, go for it.
I was gonna say the only thing that Keanu has disappointed me on was he didn't give a shit for the third Bill and Ted movie.
Oh,
he just didn't give a shit.
I haven't watched it, and I wasn't planning on watching it.
Oh, he just fuck.
Dude, shaved old Keanu looks weird. I don't know what the deal with that is, but old Keanu shaved is the weirdest fucking looking thing in the world to me. It's like, grow your beard back. What's going on with that?
No, and they also, I think it also might have been that he was disappointed with the script. Not that the movie was bad, they just didn't write a lot for Bill and Ted to do.
Okay. Raphael, is there any particular translation of the Dao De Ching that you prefer? Or am I free to just like random internet translation? And is there any particular chapter of the Dao De Ching that you prefer read? Because I don't think I'm going to do Zeno of the Citium. I think I'll default to Lao Tzu and do some Dao De Ching for you. That's the second reading redemption we've had tonight, interestingly enough. The first, if you're wondering, if you're a newcomer, was The Doors of Perception by Aldous Huxley. And given the chapter sizes of the Dao De Ching, Raphael, feel free to like pick like 2 or 3 chapters. It's fine. So they're not exactly chapters so much as passages, shall we say. Yeah, I legitimately have mad respect for Tom Cruise and Keanu Reeves as action stars. Especially, people don't realize like how fucking old they are. Like, to do that level of physicality at their age legitimately takes millions of dollars. How can you tell if Keanu is acting or just standing there? I'm fine with him either way. As long as he's doing like crazy gun fu shit, I'm cool. To be honest, Jackie Chan is the best example. Jackie Chan is a terrible human being. He's an amazing he's an amazing stuntman. He's an amazing action star. He is a terrible human being. He's arguably a lot worse than Tom Cruise. Like a lot worse. Yeah. That's the baggage he carries. I know, but action-wise. Yeah, action-wise, dude, nobody takes a beating like Jackie Chan. Of course, he's not doing it as much in his old age. He eased off, where Tom Cruise and Keanu are still pushing. Jackie is coasting these days. But, you know. But yeah, the classic, he broke half of his body, doing the train run. Hanging from the helicopter. Like he tumbled, he lost his footing and he tumbled down the side of the helicopter, just getting rolled, and he basically broke half his body. When he did the light string jump, he shredded his hands and had like electrical burns to his chest and stuff. Yeah, I mean, Jackie, props where props are due, right? Jackie Chan, mad balls when it comes to that sort of stuff. But yeah, he's just a terrible human being. Jack, you know what's also cool is Tom Holland's young as fuck and does his own stunts. Good for him. I mean, that's, if you're gonna do your own stunts, do it when you're Tom Holland's age, right? Don't do it when you're like other ages. Hey Lucy. Let's see. Jackie Chan broke his foot filming Rumble in the Bronx, painted the cast to match his shoe, and finished the movie. Yeah, it sounds like something Jackie would do. And
okay, Lucy?
Yeah. You hear me?
Yeah. I mean, your volume could be louder. I've got you doubled up, but I mean, that's you know. Sam, Jackie Chan is a shit father and a mouthpiece for the CCP. This is just sort of like, let's just call a spade territory, right? He's a very shitty dad. To the extent of you could probably charge him with abuse in certain parts of the world. Not that part, of course, but other districts around the globe would recognize his behavior as criminally abusive and that of a delinquent father at the very best. And also, he's an unabashed propagandist and mouthpiece for, well, some stuff that's a little unpleasant. So, yeah. Look up his treatment of his daughter and go from there. Yeah, oh yeah, Doom. I'm fine with separating political views from an artist. I'm 100% comfortable doing that, but I always couch that. Like, if I'm talking about somebody, like, as an anarchist, if I discuss something like Taz's temporary autonomous zones, created and largely created or popularized by an individual by the name of his chosen name, Hakeem Bey. If I mention Hakeem Bey, I'm going to mention he's a terrible human being, and you have to separate his political theories from who he was as a human being, because fact of the matter is he liked to bang little kids, right? Like, you have to sort of couch the language. You have to, separate that. So I'm perfectly comfortable doing that. It's just a matter of you have to do that. It's like,
I have a hard time if I know something horrible about an actor. I have a really hard time watching their work. Or an artist or whatever. I have a really hard time separating them from it.
Oh, Kang. I get it. Flashback to futurism classes and sensibilium. Yep, both true and both. Yeah. I'm comfortable doing that, and it's a skill set you pick. Eventually, here's the truth of the matter: is if you wanted to basically learn anything from anyone throughout all time in history, you're going to have to learn to separate the person from the idea, because the fact of the matter is most human beings are on some level or another crap, because we're all flawed in some very epic ways. And the further you go back in history, the more those flaws are truly fucked up by modern standards. So if we started throwing out every idea, concept, and thought ever had by a person who was a shit human being, we wouldn't be left with very much.
True.
All right, thanks for having me on. I hope you guys have a good time, but I need to get to bed.
Sleep well, Karina.
Night, y'all.
Skloru, how scandalous are you? I mean, I've had my moments. Most of what I did, though, wasn't... It was victimless for the most part. I was a pretty shitty human being in high school, but I think most of us are. But I was perfectly fine with manipulation, and those of you who know me know Kai's okay with con men and stuff like that. I'm brutally manipulative in high school, anger issues, that sort of stuff. But I've been open about how I worked on a lot of that for a lot of years. I put in a lot of fucking time in that sort of stuff. But most of what my stuff would be defined as victimless. For the if you separate the shitty high school years, everything else after that is sure lots of criminal behavior. But chances are, especially within leftist spaces, if we broke it down what I was getting up to, you'd be like, yeah, I don't care about that. You're good.
I think the first thing I did in high school was I ran high school and college. I did pranks for cash, basically a get even thing. Basically, the people deserved what I did, but I was really good at pulling pranks, and I would pull basically very humiliating pranks on people as a revenge service. And also because I was basically taking most of my classes in college and didn't have a lot of connection to the high school campus, I was pulling sociology and psychology experiments on people, MobThink. One of the things I did was those little dots that you use to sort file folders. I brought different colors of those little dots, and I started sorting people by clique, by groups, and saying, "Oh, here, put on this dot," and by different groups. And by the end of the day, I can't remember the exact methodology I used to get people to think they were cool, but people started sorting themselves with dots and thinking they were cool. And pretty much by the end of the school day, everybody had a dot on their forehead.
Nice.
And they were all sorted by their groups. And a couple of the teachers knew exactly what I was doing and thought it was hilarious. One of the teachers got really upset with me because she thought it was a religious thing, because Hindus wear bindis, and was like, "No, I'm not going to do it." A couple of the teachers did it, and I wrote a paper on it for my college sociology class. But yeah, so that was the kind of things I did, doing mob think sociology and psychology experiments on people, because I'm a bit of a sociopath because of my upbringing, and see people as basically but I'm a happy and benevolent sociopath because I care about people, and I care very much about people, but I see myself as a little bit apart from people because of my upbringing. So,
Raphael versus 29 and 33. Okay. I'm gonna do random internet shitty translation of the Dao De Ching for you. Raphael. For those of you who aren't familiar, I'm an ordained minister, have been for almost 20 years, 18 years now, and I've done a lot of comparative religious studies. My specialty is not Islam, which would be Lucy over here, or Judaism, although I do intend on catching up on some of my Torah studies using the liberal synagogue down the street when everything gets rebooted, shall we say. But a lot of my comparative religious studies involve Christianity vis-a-vis Taoism, Buddhism, Hinduism, and even Zoroastrianism. Zoroaster, one of my favorite weird ones that a lot of people don't know about. But I have a soft spot for Taoists. They're considered by anarchists proto-anarchists of a sort. And I'm sort of a fan of the idea of the Tao, at least, because let's face it, I did a lot of psychedelic drugs. And you could do a channel point redemption, and that's what Raphael has done. So I'm going to do we're going to do verses 29 and 33 for Raphael. So give me a sec, one sec. He who wishes to take control of the world and acts upon it, I can see that he will not succeed. For the world is a divine vessel. It cannot be acted upon as one wish. He who acts on it fails. He who holds on to it loses. Therefore, some things move forward while some follow behind. Some try to warm with exhaled air while some try to blow it cold. Some are strong while some are weak. Some are successfully accomplished while some are declined and failed. Thus, the saint avoids all extremes, extravagance, and pride. Hey, Raphael, how's that for a fucking shitty translation, right? The saint avoids all extremes and extravagance and pride, right? And the world is a divine vessel. Talk about a really crappy translation of 29, right? But hey, I pulled up the literal first one. It's not a great translation. 33. Let's see. One problem I have with Taoism is the ultimate call for conservatism. It really isn't. Astral, I would have to sit down with you and see which translations you were using and how they were being interpreted and stuff like that. Like I would argue that it's actually not a call for conservatism, but again, religious interpretive studies is a whole other ballgame. Let's not go down the theological path tonight. Let's just agree. We'll agree to disagree and maybe revisit it one day. Totally. Unfortunately, there's so many bad ones. Lols. Yeah, I kind of like this, Raphael. I kind of like this one. No, agnostic is the only intelligent choice. Whether you say it doesn't exist or does exist, the fact of the matter is human beings don't know shit about shit. And the only acceptable choice is to sit back and say, you know what? We don't know. That's the Galaxy Brain take on that one. Verse 33. Hey, call me Pooter. Welcome. I changed the channel over. We come from the politics channel, the politics category. We're over on Just Chatting right now, just so everybody knows. I moved us. Verse 33. One who knows other people is wise. One who knows himself is enlightened. To overcome others is strong. To overcome oneself is the will of power. One who is contented is rich. One who is determined has the strength of will. Those who embrace their true nature shall long live. He who is enlightened with the original nature, although dies physically, is eternally united with the everlasting Tao. There's some bad translations out there. Hey, there's Cappy, the channel mascot. Define a god and I'll disprove it unless it's some bullshit deism. All right. Let's see. Any god which is defined as impossible, proper, minuscule, so shit. Yeah, Raphael, there's a shit translation. Whose translation was that? Just for shits and giggles. Where's that coming from? What is this site?
Rev, that's the Islamic view of God, actually, is that anything that you can imagine God to be, God isn't. Because God is outside of creation. So any anything that you imagine God to be, God isn't, because we are only capable of imagining things that are inside creation. So God is without time, space, form, or gender, or anything that we can conceive of. So, yeah.
Raphael, I linked you to the PDF and the site it comes from. It's supposed to be the World Equan Dao headquarters, whatever the fuck that is. Either way, they have one of the shittiest translations of the Tao Te Ching I've seen in a long time. Yeah, that was really, oof. It was a bad one. God does exist. It's whoever invented pizza, says Call Me Pooter. Fair enough. I respect it. God, that was bad. I may actually save that PDF just as an example of how bad a translation can go. You must have native contextual cultural knowledge to do a translation of something as weighty as a theologic text. Let's just put it that way. It's absolutely ridiculous. I have a hilarious night ahead, Raphael. You're gonna get into it. Good on you. Good on you, dude. I just had the weirdest deja vu. Happens from time to time. You stream enough, and you have these moments sometimes, and you're like, what the fuck? Is he? Are they? They are cool. All right. It is what the fuck. Forgive me. I'm doing shit behind the scenes. Bear with me. I got tabs and I'm doing stuff. I'm making moves. Sam, that would make you agnostic. How can you believe if you think it's unknowable? I don't believe. Right? Like I maintain what I consider my 1% rule. I'm not a believer, by the way. I'm not a believer. I consider my
Limit that for me.
Yeah, I maintain my 1% rule. 1% of your consciousness should be in doubt at all times of all things. Right? Like we don't know what this is. We don't know what this is. And anybody who tells you they know for certain the nature of this is full of shit or delusional. So take your pick. They're either lying to you or they're lying to themselves. Either way, we don't know what this is. So there you go. Doom. I don't think you do. Some people do. Some people like the existential questions. Some people really like to get into that. Some people are perfectly fine going their entire life and not giving two shits about any of that. And both are perfectly valid positions to hold. And you're free to sway and wander between them through various periods of your life. It's perfectly fine. But let's see. Also, why the fuck is consciousness so hard to spell? It is not an easy word to spell. I will concede that point. 100%. 100% of my consciousness is doubting existence, this guru. Fair enough. Consciencia in Portuguese. Doom, that's right. Are you from Brazil, Doom? Are you one of our? We've got a few from Brazil now, viewers. How do you feel about Remy? Portugal, Portugal. All right. We've got a couple of people from Brazil, but good to know you're from Portugal. Rock on. I've got a long timer from Spain, actually. I know it's not all the fucking same. I get it. You know, I'm not a typical American. I understand my geography a little bit better than that, but still. I've never really read any of the Jesus Christ. Rumi's full name is like something, right? Like Jala.
It's really long.
Yeah, it's one of those names like Jala.
Rumi is where he was from.
Yeah, like it's a long fucking name. But yeah, I'm not into that. I can't even say like I would be able to tell you if I've read any of Rumi's poetry. So no. Is it harder to spell or define? Existential questions. Spot on, Viva. Little Spain. To be honest, atheists kind of remind me of the Catholic Church when I was a kid, and that is one of the greatest ironies I've seen today in your stream. Fair enough. It's like they want to force you to not believe in your faith because of their distaste. Fair enough. Jose Saramago, Nobel laureate. I mean, I mean, if you're going to have a credential before your name, fucking Nobel laureate is definitely the way. It's hard to go wrong with that one. It's like, what is it, Mr. or Sir? It's Nobel laureate. Okay. Gotcha. That's some big dick energy. I got it. So with that though, I'm going to kick this off. It is coming up on 3 a.m. for me. So we're going to raid over to Public. I love Public. Public's good people. Public is not politics. Public is, playing Dark Souls right now, I think, but, Public is a they, them sort of non-binary. So don't get it twisted and get all that shit up, because Public actually cares about that sort of thing. So I respect that. I personally don't give a shit. I'm gender nihilism territory. But yes, we're gonna raid over to Public and say hi. I like I said, I adore Public. But if you came in with Carpe's raid, I'm on 5 days a week: Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5:30 p.m. Pacific, Tuesday, Thursdays, 11:30 p.m. Pacific. And get the Discord link out of chat and or the About page. We have a pretty active Discord community. We're on there. We watch Punchy Boy fights. We've got Anarcho Meatheads. We've got Theory Heads. We've got, bad movie stuff. We've got all sorts of content shared, and it's pretty decent, if I say so myself. Either way, thanks for joining me. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you guys are as well as you can be. Lucy, thanks for stopping on by. And I will catch the rest of you guys another time.